Hello, everyone. Hope we're having a good Yu-Gi-Oh! Tuesday. We're going to be doing Season 0 finale. We've got the Monster World arc, Bakura's time to shine as a villain here in Season 0. And then we've got the short film that was made by the same animation studio, same continuity and everything. It's like a 30-minute short film. I would call it an OVA, but it wasn't a fucking OVA, so it wasn't originally video. Yugioh, yeah. Exactly. Despise autocorrupt. I agree. Good Yu-Gi-Oh morning. What's your favorite hashtag synchro monster? I like hashtag Crystal Wing, hashtag Synchro Dragon. And then after we're done watching anime, we're going to watch me. We're going to watch me reacting to Genesis. I'm going to react to the Genesis news of it coming to Japan. I have some interesting things to say about it, I think. Because a lot of people are doing about it, and I don't really get it. Well, I say a lot of people, and when I say a lot of people, I mean Farfa and his audience, and, you know. Well, you know, you know. Let's get started. Oh, by the way, I can explode you now. So be prepared. Yeah. How do you like it? I could explode you now. All right, let's watch this. What the fuck? What if that's my fetish? Well, you know. There's no accounting for taste. Boom, boom, boom. Come along with me. We're not going to be able to hear this song anymore after today. Isn't that fucked up? Next week we're going to have to hear the original DM theme instead. Bakura. Yugimoto, second most popular accidentally Jewish protagonist in anime. That's true. Gills, thank you for the resub. Welcome. Oh, I'm really gonna miss Miho. Yeah. What the fuck? That's so true. Get owned. Nosako, that's her other name? We only ever hear Miho. He seems fine. Bakura doesn't poop. Everyone knows this. Bakura doesn't poop. He's never pooped once in his life.
誰だ？
俺はお前さ。
頭の中
はい。
僕の体に何か。
Bakura. I don't like the voice for Yami Bakura in this one.
おら、ジョの字、ちんたら走ってんじゃねえ。ちゃんと走ってんだろうが。口答えすんな。貴様今からウサギ飛びで回れ。借りたのやら。
What the fuck?
先生相変わらずだね。
あいつ生徒いじめるのが教師の仕事だと思ってるからね。
うと、ほんだ。新鮮な授業中に喋ったな。貴様らもウサギ飛びだ。
What the fuck is this?
転校生、貴様俺の授業に10分遅刻するといい度胸だな。
すみません、ちょっと気分が悪くて。
見えすいた言い訳をするな。どうせ女性と
The
チャ
laugh
ラ
is
チャラ
pretty
してたん
good.
だろうが。モテるんだってな。
違います。
The subtitles are weird? Yeah,
言い
yeah,
訳を
dog.
するな。
We didn't know.
校庭逆襲だ。
待てよ、気分悪かったって言ってるやつにそりゃねえだろ。
なんだ？
バクラは今朝本当に気分悪そうでさ。
そうです。バクラ君嘘つくような人じゃありません。
ゆうきくん、
おう、友情ってやつか。なきゃな。
有田君ね。
Ah, yugioh
こい
friendship.
つとお友達ごっこやってるとやばいことになるぜ。
He took one look at Bakura and assumed he was straight.
前の学校でこいつの友達だったやつが次々と意識不明の昏睡状態になってな。
How do you know this?
偶然です。
偶然でも何でもそうなったってことは確かだ。
Oh, okay.
ああ、転校生。だからお前は友達いないんだよな。
バクラ君気にすることないよ。
僕が転校を繰り返してる理由はそれなんだ。僕の友達はみんな昏睡状態になってしまった。みんな
Every single one.
僕に関わらない方がいいよ。走ってきます。
Dude, he's so. In the far away shot, he's so fucking twinky.
借りたのやつそんな
That's weird because I actually think the subtitles are slightly better than
バク
normal.
ラのやつ平気なふりしてたけど。
More like last episode than the episode before that.
でそ
Or
のバクラ君
stream,
は
I mean.
やっぱり気分が悪いからって早退。
借りたのやつ、今度の美化委員会で議題に乗せてやる。それに何の効果があんだよ。
とにかく今帰りにお見舞いに行く。僕も行くよ。バクラ君は関わるなって言ったけど僕たちも友達だもん。意識不明なんて
He's just collecting coma friends like cars at this point.
よし、やってほど関わり
Maybe
まく
he's
って
putting them in
それ
coma.
を
Have we
証
thought
明
about
してや
that?
るぜ。
Or miniatures. Or
また
miniatures.
転校しなくちゃ。ドミノ高校にはいられない。
そんなことされちゃ困るんだよ。
またこの声。
せっかく千年パズルを見つけたんだから
Sengen puzzle.
お前は誰なんだ？
な。俺か？俺はお前の中に潜むもう一つの存在さ。千年リングと。
Oh, he's really open with information.
このペンダントのことか。これは
もうお前の体からリングを外すことはできないぜ。お前を永遠の宿主とすることに決めたのだからな。
どういうことだ？いや、そんなことはどうでもいい。出て行ってくれ。僕の中から。
釣れないな。俺は今までお前の望みを叶えてきてやったというのに。
そんな思いはない。
そうか。小さい頃からいじめられてただ一人も友達のいなかったお前の望み、それはいつもたくさんの友達と
Wait, he made the
一緒に
same
いたい。
wish. That's so cool. I don't remember them explaining that in any of other Yu-Gi-Oh, like even in the manga, but it could have been, I guess.
何のことだ？まさか僕の友達が意識不明になったことが。
He is tearing his shirt open a lot.
と
Fan
にかく
service,
俺
you
は
know?
探し求めていた千年パズルを手に入れる。千年アイテムとは時を超えて古の心を宿すことのできる墓標だがよ、その墓を守る番人もいれば墓を暴く盗賊もいるってことだ。
分かったぞ。番人は遊戯君、そして盗賊はお前だ。
そういうことかな。
やめろ、遊戯君に手を出すな。
友達だからか。
Interesting that they were talking about him being the thief
友達
this
はずっとお前のそば
early.
にいられるようにしてやるさ。だがその前にやることがある。俺の宿主であるお前に屈辱を与えたやつにお仕置きをせねばなるまい。
何をする気だ。
しばらく眠ってな。
Wait, is Bakura gonna do a Yami no game on this guy? Yeah!
なん
Fuck!
だ転校生
That's awesome.
交代したんじゃないのか。お前誰だ。
罰ゲーム。
Oh, he just goes straight to the punishment game. There's no Yami no game.
また記憶が飛んでる。
一仕事終わったぜ。
お前何をしたんだ。僕に何をさせた。
そんなことより千年パズルが近づいてるぜ。
ユウキ君は。
ここだよ。バクラ君の住んでるマンション。
Boom, 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 boom.
大方お前の見舞いだろう。友達っていいよな。
ユウキ君。
お、ここだぜ。
ダメだ。ユウキ君ここへ来ちゃいけない。
Does Bakura live
みん
alone?
なで来ちゃった。
ようこそ。みんな来てくれて嬉しいよ。
遠慮なく上がるぜ。
お邪魔します。
具合はいいのか。
うん、大丈夫。
よかった。刈田先生にひどいこと言われたって聞いて心配だったの。
He's like making his
慣れてる
voice
から。
higher pitched to make it sound more like the normal Bakura. That's awesome.
へえ。
天罰だよ、天罰。
バクラ君、この人形ってモンスターワールドのでしょ。
うん。僕凝ってるんだ。
Monster
モン
World.
スターワールドって。
ボードゲームとロールプレイングゲームを足したようなゲームだよ。
何ゲーム。俺の血が騒ぐぜ。
やってみる？簡単だよ。やる。じゃあゲームルームへ行こうか。これがモンスターワールドのバトルフィールドだよ。
あ、すげえ。
なんかワクワク。
Full Metal Alchemist. Full Metal Alchemist.
さあゲームを始めよ
おっしゃ。
う。その千年パズル必ず俺のものにしてやるぞ。じゃあゲームのルールを説明するよ。プレイヤーは一人のダークマスターと複数の冒険者に分かれる。ダークマスターはこの世界にはびこる邪悪なモンスターを操り冒険者の行く手を阻む。一方の冒険者たちはそれぞれの
You know, it's funny.
キャラクターを
Dark
決めて
Master, you
ダー
know,
クマ
has
スター
the
に
same letters as DM.
そしてどこかにいるボスモンスターを見つけ出して撃破すれば冒険者の勝ち。キャラクターが全滅すれば
Not super late. Not super late,
勝ち
Kai.
となる。
Only a little.
テレビゲームのロールプレイングと同じね。
Like console role playing
僕がダ
games.
ークマスターとなるから。
What console role playing games do you think Ansu is playing? Do you think Ansu is playing like fucking what would she be playing at this point in time? Is she playing Final Fantasy and shit? Is she playing Dragon Quest? Is she playing fucking Wizardry?
君たちは冒険者のキャラクターを選んでくれ。人形の中にきっと君たちの分身がいる。
GTA 1. Yeah.
よーし。
ロールプレイングとは役割を演じるという意味なんだ。プレイヤーは自らの分身となるキャラクターを演じることで架空の冒険世界に入り込むことができる。それがこのゲームの醍醐味なんだ。
なんかバクラ君、いつもと雰囲気が違う。
There's something different about him, yeah. It's like he's got a lot of eyeshadow all of a sudden.
このバカ面人形お前にそっくり。
慎重に選ぶことだね。
お前だ。
そのキャラクターたちこそ君たちの心を永遠に宿す写しみとなるのだからね。
よーし、キャラクターが決まったぜ。
人間とエルフのハーフで、職業は魔獣使い。
Oh, luckily there happen to be figures that look like everyone.
職業は戦士、ジョーだ。同じく人間だが、職業は魔法のガンを持つマジックガンマンヒロト。
Magic gun?
エルフの魔術師、アンズ。妖精の商人、ミホ。
Merchant fairy?
準備完了。
There's a lot of computer involved here. Do you know how expensive that computer must have been? Holy
なん
shit.
だよ、フ フィールドは俺らだけじゃんかよ。
このゲームの特徴は敵モンスターがどこに潜んでいるかわからないようになっているんだ。
Why is Miho's figure so stacked? You know why. Miho chose that.
俺たちこの世界のこと何も知らないんだぜ。確かにどう動けばボスモンスターに行き当たるのか見当もつかない。
村よ、村に行って情報を入手するのがロールプレイングゲームのお決まりでしょ。アンズの言う通りだ。
How many RPGs is
君たちは5ターンかけ
Anzu
て村へ
playing?
入った。
よし、早速情報集めだ。おい、モンスターについて聞きたいんだけどよ。見ろよ、この村人のフィギュア。体育のカリタにそっくりだって。ジョノジ。あ、誰か呼んだ？いいよ。助けてくれ。俺は奴にバクラに人形に変えられちまったんだ。
あれ、今人形が喋った。
アホか。何？
冒険者以外のキャラクターはマスターが演じることになってるんだ。
they're commanded by the game master, and he made them say that somehow.
出てるのか。
貴様はもはや教師でもカリタという人間でもない。俺の手によってこのゲームの世界の永遠の住人となったのだよ。役割を演じろ。貴様はただの村人 D だ。
最近闇の支配者ゾークが現れて。
Zook? Zook? The Dark Ruler Zook?
城を乗っ取った。それからというものこの世界に邪悪なモンスターが現れ始め、村人が大勢犠牲になっている。何？許せん。城はどっちだ？この村を出て北に行ったところだ。よし、村を出るぜ。目指すはゾーク城。
おっと、
Zook?
そろそろモンスターエリアだ。前もってあちこちのマスにモンスターを潜ませてある。その上を通過するとモンスターが現れるよ。
Regular Megami Tensei? Yeah, this is before
こ
Shin.
のマスにいるのはゴブリンだ。
待ってました。こうでなくっちゃゲームじゃねえ。
バトルはすべてこの10面ダイスで行う。
I love percentile dice. I love percentile dice.
初めて見たぜ。
白のダイスが1の位、赤のダイスが10の位だ。0に近い数字ほど敵にダメージを与えられる。だがもし99を出したら罰が待っているよ。
よっしゃあ、俺から行くぜ。
13。 OK、命中だ。
I would hope a 13 was a hit.
よっしゃあ、一撃だ。
ジョノジ君やる。
よし、進むぞ。
よし。
If 99 is a critical failure, I would hope that
君たちは何も気
13 is a
づいてい
hit.
ないようだね。このゲームは闇のゲームであること。
ガンガン突き進む
You
ぜ。
gotta declare a Yamino game.
倒れてる。かわいそうだから助けてあげようよ。でも怪しいよ。罠かもしれないし。助けましょう。
皆さん助けてください。森でモンスターに襲われて宝物を奪われてしまったのです。
お宝ですって。
はい、その宝こそ唯一ゾークを倒すことのできる聖剣なのです。
ゾークを倒せる聖剣？
お願いです。あの剣を取り戻してください。
どうする？ゾークを倒せる剣がそんな簡単に手に入るものかな。
お宝は絶対に魅力だぜ。
大丈夫だって。行こう。
よし、森に行こう。
ありがとうございます。僕もお供させてください。
OK、君たちは森へ踏み込んだ。
There's so much computer involved in this.
判定ロール。05。モンスターが5体現れた。バトル突入だ。
よし。
Wait, he rolled percentile dice for that. How many monsters could have appeared if he rolled like 99?
今日は転んでしまった。
ダッサ、この美化員に任せろ。
21。よし、命中だ。
次は僕の番だ。
25。波獣使いは敵モンスター1体を手玉に取って仲間にすることができる。
よし、お前だ。ティラバーハンド。
This was written around the same time the N64 dropped. She could have been playing the entire SNES era of JRPGs. Interesting.
76。商人はお金を見つけた。
She failed to attack but found some coins.
それじ
Good.
ゃあ私が。アンズ、頑張れ。それ。
パークリティカルヒットだ。いき
Wow
なり見習い最終奥義クラスの必殺魔法攻撃が炸裂する。
見習いファイナルビッグバン。
すっげえ、モンスター3体が一度に吹っ飛んだぜ。
やったねアンズ。これがスーパークリティカルの威力。
よし、先に進もうぜ。
やはりお前らが我に逆らう冒険者どもか。だがこの森に入ったのが運の尽き。今ここで葬ってやろう。
なんだ、お
Yeah,
前
he's got it all in his
は一体何者？
computer.
我が名はダークマスターゾーク。
Zork.
よし教えてやろう。この世界に俺を倒せる剣など存在せぬわ。
プレイヤーは完全に今日疲れ。
Yeah, this is the ritual guy. Yeah, it's Zork.
殺ゾークの先制攻撃を受ける。
But the subtitle thing that they use to make the subtitles thinks he's saying
スー
Zook.
パークリティカルヒット。ゾークの闇の力がプレイヤーを襲う。標的となったのは君だ。心の慈しみ。
美穂ちゃん、どうしたんだ美穂。
まず一人人形に心を移した。さあ遊戯、このゲームに勝てるかな。
バクラ君、ミオちゃんに何をしたの？
君たちが参加しているのは究極のロールプレイングゲー
The
ム。
role-playing game of all time, where you really have to play the role.
全てダイスが決める。ゾークの攻撃がスーパークリティカルヒットであった時、または99を出した時、闇の力によってプレイヤーの心は人形に封じ込められてしまうのさ。
バカラ、美穂ちゃんがどうなっちまったのか説明しろ。
安心しなよ、野坂美穂は生きているよ。このゲームの世界でね。
私どうしちゃったの？なんでみんなそんなに大きくなっちゃったの？まさか嘘でしょ？
And Miho ends up staying here. She's actually trapped in the game forever. And that's why she's not in the other anime.
の力、バクラ君君は。
心を取り戻す方法は一つ。ダークマスターゾークを倒すことだ。
美穂ちゃん、
Does this happen for everyone playing this? If you have the powers of the Millennium Ring, yeah.
本田君、今は君の攻撃ターンではない。ゲームのマナーが最悪だな。
しまった。
マスターの指示なしにダイスを振るとどうなるか教えてやろう。
The same thing.
何？
The same thing happens.
美穂ちゃん、バカラ、てめえ。
さあゲームを続けよう。次は
俺の番だ。出してやるぜ、スーパークリティカル。
Make sure it's actually your
手が
turn.
震えているぞ。
誰が？
無理もない。君も永遠に人形になるかもしれないのだからな。だが恐怖に駆られて振ったダイスに決していい目は出ない。
うるせえ。俺はビビってんじゃ
I'm
ねえ。
glad this plot point got reused early in DM at least. Yeah, yeah. That duel is anime original. It's just an adaptation of Monster World, kind of.
99。ふざけんな。俺がビビってるだと。
ダイスは嘘をつかない。罰ゲームだ。
城之内。
城之内。くそ、信じてくれ。俺はビビってなんかいなかったぜ。
城之内くん。
さあ次は遊戯くん。君の番だ。
遊戯。
どうした？
These dice seem loaded. Maybe a little bit.
遊戯、頼むぜ。遊戯。
さあ
It's only fair that the enemy get a cheat skill one time.
僕の心も人形に移して。
なんだと？自ら人形になるだと？
遊戯。
遊戯。
僕もフィールドでみんなと一緒に戦う。
バカな。
私も人形にして。
いいだろう。望み通りにしてやろう。だがダイスを振る人間がいなくなれば貴様らの力は無に等しい。勝てる確率は。
さあ早く。そうよ。
バカめ。これでゲームオーバーだ。
Crazy people. That's what you think, Bucko.
これで全てのプレイヤーは人形と化した。このゲームマスターの僕が圧勝。
それはどうかな。ゲームを続けようぜ。このターンの攻撃を選手に振り返る。03、 ヒットだ。
やっただから言ったろうが、信頼できる仲間が周りにいるのにビビるわけねえってな。
もう一人の遊戯。
安心しな、みんなの命は預かった。俺がゾークをぶっ倒すぜ。
So confident. That's
クライマックス
awesome.
迫る遊戯王。
Yu-Gi-Oh comes with
ロール
climax.
プレイングバトル。魔王ゾークの仕掛けの罠が行く手を
Hey, they got it right this time. It's
そ
Zork.
れを乗り越え、ついに魔王ゾークと対決するが、どうしても倒せない。
They can't understand Bakura saying it, but they can understand Yami Yugi
最
saying
強の
it.
ゾークとのファイナルバトル。次回、ライバル激突。最大
They
ピン
just
チ。
spoiled like the conclusion of the fucking fight. What a weird thing to do. Rye Dragon, thank you for the follow. Welcome, welcome. Next episode. Next episode? Next episode? Hello? There we go. We got there eventually. Come along with me. Get high again.
バクラ君の家にお見舞いに行った僕たちはみんなでモンスターワールドのゲームをすることになった。ところがそのゲームが闇のゲームだと知らなかった僕たち
We
は
had no idea it would be a Yami no game.
たった一人で
Most of us don't even know what a Yami no game
ゲーム
is.
の中に移し替えられてしまう。
もう一人の遊戯。
安心しな、みんなの命は預かった。ゾークは俺が倒すぜ。ライバル激突、最大ピンチ。
The greatest pinch.
おい、あれは
もう一人の遊戯。
そうか、遊戯の心がこっちのゲーム世界に閉じ込められて、代わりにもう一人の遊戯がバクラのやつと戦ってるんだ。
ユギ
It looks like a kaiju.
俺たちの命はお前に預けた。ゾークを倒してくれ。
ああ、
Yeah, I will.
ご主人様の二人。これがもう一人の僕。初めて出会えたね。
ああ、お前は仲間と一緒に戦うために自らの命を差し出した。その勇気が俺たちを巡り合わせたんだ。お前たちのために俺は戦う。だからみんなも俺に力を貸してくれ。忘れるなよ、敵を恐れぬ勇気と結束の力を。
お前が千年パズルに宿りし者なのか。
仲間は俺が必ず助けるぜ。そのためにはゾークを倒し、人形に閉じ込められたみんなの心を解放しなければ。
Tension.
ゲームを続けようぜ。
よかろう。他のメンバーがいなくなった以上、これからはお前がダイスを振り全ての駒を動かすんだ。だがプレイヤーズキャラクターに設定されたヒットポイントがゼロになったら、お前の仲間は死ぬことになるぞ。
That's not a lot of HP. 2.
ゲ
15.
ームの勝敗はダイスで決まると言っていい。00、すなわちスーパークリティカルに近い数字を出した方が有利で、99、つまりファンブルを出せば破滅を意味する。バクラに勝つためには奴のダイスロールテクニック、連続クリティカルを阻止するしかない。
Dude, you can't
バトル続行だ。
Dude, he's developing a dice technique so he doesn't roll bad. That's fucked up, man. You can't cheat like that.
冒険者たちはさらに事態を悪くしたと言える。
見ろ、ゾークの肉片が形を変えていく。くそ、
Me when I
モンスター
rock.
に姿を変えやがったか。
我が身を離れた肉片はモンスターと化し、我がしもべとなるのだ。
ゾークこそが闇の世界の源だ。あいつを倒さない限り、次々とモンスターが生み出されてしまうんだ。
ゾーク様、奴らも我々が始末します。
任せたぞ。
逃げる気がゾーク、
Okay.
ここで勝負しろ。
貴様らとの戦いにはそれ相応のステージを用意してある。お礼の像の炎を消さぬまで城までたどり着いてみせよ。
Oh, that's sporting of him.
やろう、なんとしてもゾーク城にたどり着いてみせるぜ。そして貴様をぶっ倒す。
僕らはバクラ君のシナリオ通りに動かされているんだ。もう完全にゲーム世界に引き込まれている。
その通りだ。バクラのシナリオは冒険者の不意をつく形でゾークを出現させ、人形に心を封じ込めることが狙いだったんだ。手強いゲームマスターだぜ。
それにバクラ君が
That's one way to put it, yeah.
確実にクリティカルを出してしまう。僕に勝ち目はあるの？
あるぜ。
さあバトルを再開しよう。戦士の攻撃のチャンスだ。ダイスを振れ優に。だがもし99、すなわちファンブルを出したらその駒は完全なる死を迎えることを忘れるなよ。
頼むぜ遊戯。
スーパークリティカル。戦士の気合切りが
Oh,
炸裂
simple as. You just have to learn how to roll the dice. If you You just gotta learn how to roll the dice correctly.
おい、俺も褒めろよ。俺もよ。
これはまさか遊戯のやつ。
どうしたバ
That
カ。
bastard.
早く次のゲームの指示を出せ。
今の戦士の一撃はもう一体のモンスターにも精神的なダメージを与える。
Mental damage?
ビーストテイマー、君の攻撃のチャンスだ。
遊戯、かましたれ。
ゾーク城に乗り込む前にできるだけモンスターを仲間にしておかなくっちゃ。お前を手玉に取るビーストテイマーのハンドパー。見て、ご主人様。
ゾークアームドラゴンはついさっきまでゾークの体の一部だったモンスターだ。洗脳値はかなり低い 10% だ。
10%？ ダイス10以下の数字を出さなければ失敗ってわけか。だけど信じるぞ、もう一人の僕を。
判定ロール。
That's such a funny way to roll them.
10の位であるレッドダイスは8。明らかに失敗。一度止まったダイスに回転する一方のダイスを当てることで目を変える。
そう、これがダブルヒットと呼ばれるダイスロールのイカサマテクニックさ。バクラ、お前が出した連続クリティカルと同じ技だぜ。
またしてもクリティカル。
よって洗脳に成功。手玉ハンド出現。
Like, what do I say to that, man? So what if it had rolled good? The double hit wouldn't have done anything.
お前も今日から心を入れ替えろよ、パウ。
分かってるよ。俺も新しいご主人様のために戦うぜ。
まさか遊戯がダブルヒットのダイスロールテクニックを持っていたとは。
Dice roll
それにしても
technique.
バクラの野郎、イカサマしてやがったのか。
That's a lot of English right there. Oh boy.
サイコロの目を操るテクがあるっつうのは本当なのか。
ああ、この10面ダイスはこの五角錐を上下に合わせた形をしていて、それぞれ偶数面と奇数面に分かれている。ダブルヒットのテクニックで重要なのは、ダイスを振る際必ず0がある偶数面を上にしてコマのように回すことだ。
あ、そうすれば奇数で止まることはなくなる。すでに0が出る確率は5分の1だ。
さらに2つのダイスを投げる際、一方のダイスに強い回転を加える。 回転の弱いダイスは先に止まるわけだが、その時ゼロ以外の目が出たならば回転の速いダイスが当たって目を変えてしまう。
If a non
回転を加える。回転の弱いダイスは先に止まるわけだが、その時ゼロ
if a non-zero number comes out, the faster dice will hit it, thus changing the number. How? The rest of this kind of makes sense. This part is nonsensical. What are you talking about?
以外の目が出たならば回転の速いダイスが当たって目を変えてしまうんだ。
でもダイス同士相都合よく当たってくれるかしら。
That's just basic physics, I guess.
フィールドに振動を加えることで思い通りに変えることができる。例えばテーブルに肘で振動を加える。
Oh, he's hitting the table with his elbow to make it change. That's what's going on. He's hitting the table to change the direction of the dice. That's awesome, dude. He's full on cheating. That's so fucking
このテク
funny.
ニックを使えば何度かダイスの目を変えることができる。バクラ、残念だが俺にイカサマは通用しないぜ。
OK。これからのダイスロールはこのように手から滑り落とす形で振ることとし、ダイスに回転を加えることは一切禁じ手としよ
いいだろ
う。ゲー
Okay.
ム続行。ゾークの手下を一掃したプレイヤーたちは
So he was cheating in order to get Bakura to stop cheating. There we go. We're all good.
進む。
It's cool that the monsters float so they don't have to animate them moving.
歩けばいいの？日本足が痛くてもう歩けない。
無理もない。アンズはともかく美穂ちゃんの体はこんな野蛮な冒険には不向きなんだ。
どうせ野蛮だよ、私は。
さあ美穂ちゃん、俺の背中に俺が君をおぶっていこう。もしよければ永遠に。美穂本田くん大好き。さあさあお姫様。
甘ったれない。これくらいで
I
手を
don't
挙げてどうす
think.
るの？
Is she's like a fairy merchant or something like
待
that?
ってるっていうのに。だって。
おいおい、じゃれやってる場合じゃねえぞ。あれを見ろ。
あれが族場。
そうかじゃ。
Well, that's easy then. You found a castle already. That's helpful.
これがゾーク城。闇を支配する魔王ゾークの根城。
よし、いよいよ乗り込むぞ。覚悟はいいなみんな。
気をつけて。ゾークは城に罠を仕掛けて待ち受けてるはずだ、ポッキー。気をつけていくよ、ポッキー。
心配するな。どんな罠が待ち受けていようが。
Yeah, we're doing Monster World.
がついてる。信じる仲間がな。
そうよ、ポッキー。
信じる仲間がな。
果たして罠をくぐり抜けられるかどうか。ユウギ、お前のゲームの腕が問われると。
Hi.
お、羽橋が降りてくるぞ。
That's a very strange drawbridge.
さあ冒険者たちよ、城への道は開かれた。
よし、行くぞ。
プレイヤーたちはゾーク城エリアに侵入。キャッスルフィールドをオープン。
They gotta show the inside of it.
なんだこの城は。
この城も分解ジオラマだぜ。
いよいよラストクエスト。
Evil Bakura knows computers. Yeah, he's really good at computers.
打ち負かせれば冒険者の勝利となる。
He's an expert.
おいゾーク、どこに隠れてやがる。今ここで俺と戦え。臆病者の腰抜け大魔王め。
ねえ、なんかあの塔怪しい。
よし、入ってみよ 何
What's
台
up?
座は何かな、妙なマークも気になるし。
ただのレリーフだろ。とにかく中を調べようぜ。
確かにあのマークが気になるぜ。何か意味があるはずだ。あの台座、上に繋がる部分があるように見えるが。
Very obviously, yes.
待てみんな、塔の中に入るな。
Sorry, we're already in here.
だけど
Oh, sorry, we're already in here. Do you want to try running?
不運にも冒険者たちは罠にはまってしまった。だが安心しろ、いきなり冒険者を死なすゲームマスターなどいやしないさ。ちゃんと彼らを助ける
Rocks fall and everyone dies.
大変だ。
Luckily, all the spikes missed.
大丈夫かみんな。
なわけねえだろうが。この天井板重い上にトゲまでついてるんだ。身動きが取れねえぜ。
僕ら貴様。
あの天井は徐々に重さを増していく。あのままではいずれ全員押しつぶされるだろう。さて次のプレイヤーは妖精。
妖精、美穂ちゃんのターンか。
今から3ターン、3回だけダイスを振るチャンスを与えよう。遊戯、それで失敗したら君の仲間は死ぬだろうね。
Probably. Maybe.
さあ謎解きだ。仲間を助けるためには天井
Solve my puzzle.
実現させればいい。ただしそのためにはダイスで特定の数字を引き当てるしかないのさ。
特定の数字。ダイスの目で柱が出現するだと。
頼むぜ。クリティカルを出してくれよ遊戯。
Considering this thing connects to that pedestal, I feel like they could slip out underneath it if they just like went to lay down.
考えてる時間はない。みんなの命がかかってるんだ。ダイスロール。
Launch the dice. The classic phrase.
よし、クリティカル。
決まりだ遊戯。
残念だな。
何？
これで妖精は妖力を使えるが、その数字は正解ではない。ヒントはある数字。ゾロ目が正解だ。
クリティカルを出してもダメなのか。
You have to get the super critical because the pedestal makes the 2 zeros. This is a fucked up puzzle, by the way. It's not, well, it's not even a puzzle because you just have to roll. It's not, you don't have to figure out what you have to roll. You just have to roll until you get it. Because we're not cheating anymore.
商人ってアキンドか。なんだってそんな職業を選んだんだよ。
She's all about that grind set.
ゲームの中でまで金儲けを考えるな。
さてここでゾークの出現判定を行う。出現確率は
I like the hand animation there.
今ゾークが現れたら絶対絶命だ。
判定ロール。28。冒険者たちにとって最悪の目が出てしまったようだ。ゾーク出現。
Hi, I'm here.
何？
まんまと罠にはまりおったなコアパどもめが。覚悟しろ。身動きの取れぬ状態のままいたぶってやるわい。
くそ汚ねえぞ。正々堂々と戦え。
まずい。押しつぶされると
They are literally about to be crushed. That's
ま
true.
までゾークにやられてしまう。早くみんなを脱出させなければ。ダメだ。ゾロ目以外正解じゃない。
くそこっちも限界だ。
ゾーク攻撃。命中判定値は 95%。41。あまりいい数字ではないが、じりじり痛めつけるにはちょうどいい数字だ。
Well, it is a large number. That's the problem, is that it's a large number.
遊戯、まだ最後 は残されてるぜ。俺たちはくたばるまでお前を信じる。早くさよ振ってくれ。
We will believe in you until death, at which point it no longer matters if we believe in you.
そうか、あのレリーフは。あのレリーフには数字が隠されているんだ。
What does it matter?
現状、その2つの台座の隙間を埋めれば柱となる。同時に描き出される数字は0、3、6、8、9。
Oh.
数字ではあのレリーフの模様に合致
So it
し
could
ない。
be any of those, huh? Oh, okay. I didn't even figure
信じ
that.
る力に応えてくれ。
Okay, so there's a higher chance than I thought there was.
正解の目を出てくれ。
But it doesn't matter because he's still rolling dice.
66、その目だ。
残念だったなユーギ。正解は99だ。
何？99。
もうダメだ。
So no, it's still a 1 in 99.
何 ?99。
柱が現れた。
そんなバカな。そうか、妖精の力。商人の妖精は数字を自由に操ることができる。
Oh, she can? What?
数字をひっくり返しちゃった。
お見事、美穂ちゃん。
Miho the goat. Me goat.
すかさずゾークの攻撃判定。
Miho no game.
12、ゾークの攻撃。
ドアごと柱ごと貴様らを真っ二つにしてやる。マッシュ当選。
I was not expecting Zork to attack like that.
終わりだ。所詮貴様らは俺の相手ではない。
それはどうかな。素早さでは冒険者たち側の方がはるかに上。
つまり俺たちはお前の後ろでピンピンしてるってことだぜ。
Oh, okay. Well, I forgot the fact that adventurers are faster than Zork. I forgot about that
ゾー
rule.
クの背後で先制攻撃のチャンスを得たはず。つまり4回連続の攻撃が可能。行くぜバクラ、ダイスロール。
Sudden surprise attack round.
バクラ、
Even though he's been here the entire time.
の力を見せてやる。
バクラ、
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-da-ba.
お前を仲間と信じてこのゲームに参加した。だがその結果、裏切られたばかりかこんな姿にされちまった。絶対に許すことはできねえ。
みんなの怒れる心をこの手に握りしめたぜ。このダイスと共にダイスロール。
クリティカル。そんなバカな。
さらに魔術師アンズの追撃。
見習いディスプレイス。
なぜこうもクリティカル
Damn, ユーギ。
出せるのか。だがイカサマをしていないことは事実。
バクラ、そいつは不思議でもなんでもないぜ。遊戯のダイスには俺たちの心が宿っている。ダイスは俺たちの怒りに応えているのさ。
That's true. They do that.
イーストアタック。クリティカル。
Hi. I'm still here.
あれだけの攻撃を受けてほとんどダメージを受けてね。
Well, that's a strong word. He's got a hole straight through him. This is a huge
残
game
念だが
board,
君
dude.
たちはまだレベル1の初心者だ。ゾークを倒すには経験値が足りなさすぎるようだね。
You should have done some grinding, bro.
.城之内くん、本田くん、美穂ちゃん、そしてハンズ。ここまで来れたのは みんなのおかげだ。どんなに強い敵だって力を合わせれば乗り越えられる。そして
Like it's spoiling.
新しい仲間と共に懐かしい俺たちの世界に戻ろう。最終回
Anime like previews at the end of episodes are such a strange thing.
今一つになる。
But these ones in particular always show like the most pivotal moments. It's so weird. Okay, I've got the next one set up, but before we watch it, it's time for a little ad break. The previews suck, yeah. All right, we'll be right back.
Fantastic fire monsters that rains destruction on the world. The Gigantus, the Fire Monster from Warner Brothers.
All right, folks, we're back. We're back. Time for some more anime. Time for the finale, even. And then we had the movie, of course, after that. But yeah. Come along with me.
誰にも出せない答えが僕の中にある限り気がかり届け
Fly high again.
バクラ君の家でモンスターワールドのゲームをすることになった僕たちは全員ゲームの中の
That's fair. I'm not a huge spoilers
使えられてしまった。
person either. It's just weird that it's showing like the climactic moment, like it's showing it in animation form,
最後にもう一人の僕が
like
現れ
contextless of the rest of it too. It's bizarre. It's bizarre.
僕たちが元に戻るためにはゲームの中の闇の支配者ゾークを倒さなければならないんだけど。
The slow motion evil grin.
友情伝説から神話へ
Friendship from legend to myth. What?
あれだけの攻撃を受けてほとんどダメージを受けてね。
そんなバカな。これぞ僕たちに勝ち目はないってことじゃん。
Yep, last episode, and then we have the short film after it.
僕を卑怯者と罵るのかい。だがこのゲームの世界は全てこのマスターである僕が作り上げたもの。僕自身が起きて支配者神なのさ。
やはりこのゲームは最初から俺たちが勝てないように仕組まれていたのか。
ゲーム続行だ。君らはせめて死に際を華麗に演じるがいい。ヒューギめ、俺のダイステクニックである連続クリティカルを阻止したと思っているだろうが、まだいくらでもあるんだよ、奥の手はな。これらの人形には俺の宿主であるバクラ領の以前の仲間たちの心が封じ込められている。人形はそれぞれ俺の作ったゲームのシナリオ通りに動いてくれるというわけだ。だがそれは人形に限ったことではない。例えばこのマインドダイス。
He's trapped souls inside the dice? What the fuck?
さあ、次のターンはゾークの攻撃だ。君らプレイヤーへの攻撃命中判定。マインドダイス。
スーパークリティカル。
ゾーク暗黒魔法ダークカタストロフィー。
How much damage is that?
今のゾークの攻撃はたとえヒットポイント50以上のキャラクターでも一瞬にしてゼロにするパワーがある。プレイヤーは全員死んだな。無駄だとは思うが、それぞれのプレイヤーのヒットポイントの減少度を算出してみよう。
I just gotta put it in my computer real quick. You can't cheat with the computer. You have to do that part correctly. Stack overflow.
まだヒットポイントが1残っているだと。バカな。
He's like, what the fuck? How do they have 1 HP?
みんな、俺には分かってたぜ。みんなも俺のもう一つの心も死んじゃいないってことが。俺たちの心は離れていても一つ。もう一つの心が死ぬときは俺の心。
The computer is calculated the heart of the cards in there. The power of friendship is part of the computer program.
これは俺の左手が勝手にキーを叩いている。どういうことだ。何？
No subtitles for that? Okay, thank God he says it out loud.
バクラ領だと。心の奥底に幽閉されたはずの
That's awesome.
バクラ領の意志が表に出てきたというのか。まさか俺はゲームの世界でゾークと一心同体だが、ゾークの左腕は不覚にも傷を負っている。もしやそのために俺の中のバクラ領は俺の左手を自由に操れるようになったのか。
This is as good an explanation as anything else.
左手だけで何ができる。このコンピューターを遠ざければそれで終わりだ。
If I remove the computer away from me, then it won't be an issue anymore.
顔色を変えた。一体何があったのか。奴の バクラのやつ、データを管理してるコンピューター画面を見て顔色を変えた。一体何が。
I don't know if he actually said that or if that's just the weird subtitles. But that's fucking awesome. Hold up. I need a screenshot of that one. Hold up. Hold the fuck up. What the fuck? What the fuck happened? This should have been the thumbnail. Holy shit. Oh god. Oh, I just realized damn, I've had on the wrong thing this whole time. There we go. You've been getting slightly cropped. Oopsie. That's okay. It's not a huge deal. It's more cinematic.
何か誤算が生じたことは確かだ。もしやそこにゾークを倒す決定的な鍵が隠されているのかも。
ゲームを続行する。
くそ、一体どうすりゃゾークのやつを倒すことができるんだ。
Cursed!
ゾークの防御力が高すぎ
I
る
don't think he said that either.
私たちとはレベルが違いすぎるわ。それに比べて僕たちのヒットポイントは残り1。今度攻撃されたらおしまいだ。
そうだ。とにかくみんなのヒットポイントを上げることが先決だ。そのためにはハンズの回復魔法で。
さて、次のターンで行動できるのは魔術師アンズだ。だがゾークもまた同時に動ける状態にある。この場合、ダイス勝負で先制権を決める。互いにダイス
Oh, that sounds
0-0
reasonable.
に近い目を出した方が先制を取る。行くぞ、運命のダイスロール。
ゾークの先制を受けたら今度こそみんな助からない。
俺の勝利は確実だ。このダイスは以前に犠牲となったプレイヤー
I
の
like
心
this
が破る
face.
マインドダイス。振れば 100% スーパークリティカルを出す。
頼む。全てはこのダイス。
俺のダイスはスーパークリティカルだ。勝負あったなユーギ。覚悟しろ、ゾークの先制攻撃。何がおかしい。
お前の目は節穴か。ダイスの目をよく見てみろ。
Do you have two holes instead of eyes?
バカな、そんなはずは。
ダイスは嘘はつかないぜバクラ。魔術師の先生、魔術ルーナ。
Perhaps using the trapped souls of your victims is not the best idea to cheat.
なんかすっきりしてきたぞ。よっしゃ、エネルギー回復、元気が出たぜ。
このダイスはマインドダイスじゃない。一
Oh.
体どこに消えたのだマインドダイス。
What the fuck is going on with this one? Where the fuck did my mind dice go? Why is the subtitle saying fuck the entire It's just this one episode. This one episode is full of fuck.
球技の仕業か。いや、奴がマインドダイスに気づいた様子はなかった。どういうことだ。
どうしたバクラ。顔色が悪いぜ。
何を言う。お前らがいくらヒットポイントを回復したところでゾークの前では微生物以下。次の攻撃で跡形もなく吹き飛ばしてやる。
みんな気をつけて。ゾークの反撃が来る。
ゾークの反撃命中判定 80% 以内で全員にヒットだ。
Oh, 110%.
左手が勝手にダイスを投げた。これは左手がいつの間にかマインドダイスを隠し持っていたとは。
It's good that Bakura's good at
バカだ。マインドダイスの自爆を
yeah,
解いたというの
fucking
か。この左手が
like fucking magic tricks, apparently.
よし、ゾークの野郎攻撃失敗で自爆しやがった。
God damn it, the mind dice. Fuck. Fuck. The goddamn left hand. Fucking hell. Fuck. Shit.
これで思い通りにはさせんぞバ
I do remember this part from the manga. Holy shit, dude.
カ両名。
何？今バクラ亮と言った。まさか。
Good face. Good face.
こいつはバクラではない。
次はビーストテイマー、優位のターンだ。さあグズグズするな。
ビーストテイマーは魔王ゾークにハンドパワーを試みる。
何？ハンドパワーは敵モンスターを仲間にするための魔法。ゾークに通用すると思っているのか？
本当のバクラ
Only one way to find out.
奴の左手に隠されているとするなら、ゾークの中にももしや。
テラマハンド出現。
バカめ、このゾーク様を仲間にしたいなら
Crazy people.
レベルを100万倍にしなければ。なんだこれは。
何？まさかこんなことが。あれは。
君はバクラ君だね。
みんなありがとう。僕を助け出してくれて。僕は白魔導士のバクラ。ぜひみんなの仲間に加えてほしいんだ。
White Mage.
やった仲間が増えたぜ。
よかった。
ファイトだファイト。
みんな頑張ろうね。
よし行くぞみんな。次はマジックガンマンの攻撃、命中判定。
行くぜ。
Jesus Christ, a hole in his torso.
どうしたんだ今までと効き目が違うぜ。
ゾークにはもう今までのような防御力はない。僕の白魔術で奴の力を下げたんだ。
You don't fuck with the white mage. Fuck. The fuck episode. This is the fuck episode, everyone. That's what F stands for. It doesn't stand for friendship. It stands for fuck. The power of the power of fuck. Why are they level 1? Didn't they beat some stupid high level monsters? Well, you know.
こうなれば奥の手を出すまで。所詮レベルの低い貴様らが寄り添ったところでマスターの俺には勝てぬことを教えてやる。
この戦い、いよいよ最終局面を迎えたようだ。だが支配者はまだ秘策を隠しているに違いない。一瞬の油断が命取りになるぜ。
The sovereign. It's a weird way to describe it. Oh!
変形していく。
まずい。ゾークめ最終手段を使う気だ。
これは。
いたか。これがゾークの最終
What
形
the
態。
fuck?
攻撃力もレベルアップ
That's the summon skull. That's Ryukishin
そし
powered.
てこのターンはゾークの先生。
ゾークはこの攻撃にエネルギーを集中させる気だ。
That's Wicked Dreadroot.
みんなに。
That's Tragoedia.
気をつけろ。なんだあれは。
That's Frieza.
みんなの防御力を上げている時間はない。ダイスロール。
スーパークリティカル。
ジョークインフェルノ。
Zork Inferno.
白魔法シャイニングシールド。
Oh. Apparently you did have time to increase everyone's defense.
僕の魔法エネルギーはもう使い果たしてしまう。僕のヒットポイントをすべて魔法エネルギーに変換。
We had time to do that, but not to increase everyone's defense. Okay, I see. I'm learning how this game works slowly.
僕たちのために自分が犠牲になって。バクラ君待ってて。次の私のターンで回復魔法を。
僕は大丈夫。ハンズさん、僕を回復させる魔法力があるならそれを全てこのターンの攻撃に使って。僕にはもうみんなを守るだけの力はない。次のターンで決着をつけなければ僕たちは確実に全滅する。
バクラ君。
分かったよバクラ。死ぬ時は一人には死ねえよ。よし俺たちの反撃だ。
でも考えてみれば妙だ。ゾークは最終形態になっても攻撃力も防御力も上がるなら、なぜ最初から変身しなかったんだろう。
それ
Interesting.
はゾークが最後の賭けに出たからだ。確かにゾークはパワーを増したが、その代償として弱点を表にさらけ出すことになった。
So weak point for massive damage.
ゾークの魔法攻撃の射出口、その奥の目が弱
Oh,
点だ
right
ぜ。
where the ring stands, huh? That's interesting.
射出口が閉じていく。
ダメだ。もう遅い。俺たちの
That's
攻
the
撃の前
Zelda
に閉
boss.
じてしまう。
You can tell by the weak point.
遅かったな。射出口が閉じてしまえばお前らの攻撃など恐るるに足らん。俺の勝ちだ。
ボキ何
Pucky!
何をする気だボキ
The goat Pokey. Pucky.
うちに僕ごとこいつを吹き飛ばせ、ボッキー。ボッキー、みんなこんな僕を仲間にしてくれてありがとう。短い間だったけどこれで終わった。
Pucky is a fake game piece. Just destroy the goddamn thing.
ありがとうよ。
Well, I guess Pucky could have a soul inside
俺たち
there.
は共に戦った仲間を絶対に犠牲になんかしないぜ。悪の心に仲間の命を代償にする価値なんかこれっぽっちもねえからな。
待ってて、ボキー。必ず助けるから。手玉ハンド、手玉ハンドジェットストリームパンチ。
Oh,
ボキーが、ボキー。
やった
what the fuck? It wasn't even your turn, Yugi.
さらに戦士の攻撃。
Also, shit.
とどめ爆裂
Lots of cussing this episode. Bakura is a potty mouth. What the fuck? That was a cool art. Shame it wasn't animated, but it was cool.
やった。ゾークを倒した。
いや、まだだ。
ゾークはまだくたばっちゃいねえのか。しぶといやつめ。
まだまだ俺には手が残されているさ。今の攻撃でゾークにとどめをさせなかったのは貴様たちにとって致命的と言える。次のターンはゾークとプレイヤーに同時に攻撃のチャンスがある。ユウに
Miho, use money beam. Turn him into
お
money.
互いが同時にダイスを振り、勝った方が先制を取る。
受けて達成マスター。
Did they have Miho do anything in the anime? Yeah, Miho's done a lot.
俺が先制を取ったらプレイヤーを道連れにゾークを自爆させる。貴様らを全滅させることで俺は勝利を得る。
They added a whole like new trap that they had Miho get them out of.
次が最後のチャンスだ。頼むぞユギ。
遊戯。
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They added a whole new trap, like I
もう
said.
一人の
Yeah.
僕たちの信じる気持ちを握りしめて、ダイスと一緒に。
ああ、確かに受け止めたぜ。みんなの気持ち。俺はこのダイスに全てを込める。
She also randomly found money while they were fighting the other guys.
無駄なことを。
みんな気をつけて。
ゾークにはまだ力が残ってる。
覚悟しろ。ゾークもろとも貴様らをあの世へ送ってやる。次なる冒険の舞台は地獄だ。
Okay, you know, Yami Bakura is kind of growing on me now that he's going
一度の
crazy.
最終手段を使うことにする。俺の心の一部をこのダイスに封印する分身ダイ
This
ス。
voice for him, I mean.
完了。
The money has thus far done nothing. Well, you know.
確実にスーパークリティカルが出る。行くぞ。先制判定。運命のダイスロール。
ダイスよ、答えてくれ。俺たちの心に。よし。これでマスターがスーパークリティカルを出さない限り俺の勝ちだ。
俺の分身ダイスは 100% スーパークリティカル。目が同じなら俺の勝ち。ユウに貴様は終わった。
He's got loaded dice this time instead of mine dice. Why wasn't he using loaded dice instead of mine dice?
スーパークリティカル。
これはお前らにとって最も残酷な結末だ。勝利を確信した次の瞬間、一気に敗北の底に転落するとは。俺の目もスーパークリティカル。よってゾークはお前たちを道連れに自爆。これは何？バカな、ダイスにひびが。お前は。僕はこれ以上友達を失いたくない。 これ以上お前の好きにはさせない。
バクラ。
たとえ僕の心が砕け散ろうともね。
It just mixes up the dice.
心を移したというのか。
そうはさせるか。貴様の心など俺の千年リングの力で追い払ってくれる。
He's so twinky.
何？
みんな。
お前たちも俺のダイスに心を移したのか。なぜだ、なぜそんなことができる。
できるのさ。友を思う気持
We
ち
could
が
do
あれ
it
ば
because
不可
we
能
care
はね
about
えん
our
だ。
friends. Yeah. Yeah.
バカ。
That's all they need is friendship, and then they can do whatever the fuck they want.
みんなの気持ち確かに受け止めたぜ。マスター。
So now Bakura's like, well, I still rolled a critical, right? I still rolled a super critical right before they exploded. Exploding doesn't discount that, right?
お前のダイスの目は消えた。俺たちの先生だぜ。覚悟しろ。
There's not a rule about that.
魔術師の魔法
There's nothing on my computer that says that if you destroy the dice, you get to go
の
first.
怒りを込めて。
ファイナルビッグバン。
Judge. It's a good scream.
やったー。ゾークを倒したぜ。
Good face.
バクラ。バクラ君。
Judge, my opponent exploded my game pieces.
ユーギ君。
大丈夫？バクラ君。
Luckily, Bakura will never wear the Millennium Ring again. Never ever.
勝ったのか俺たち。やった俺たちみんな元に戻ったんだ。
It's really good. It's a really good arc.
やったね私た
They
ち。
do remember. I feel like they didn't remember in the manga.
やべえまた遅刻だ。
Oh, it's using the theme song.
貴様らまた遅刻か。全員
Why don't they remember other Yugi later? Well, we're going to a different series. It's different universe.
誰のおかげで元に戻ったと思ってるんだ。まったくだぜ。やつだけゲームの中に閉じ込めておけばよかったぜ。
We should have left them trapped in the game.
バクラ君、おはよう。実は今日はみんなに見せたいものがあってね。
New Monster World minis?
なになに？
これさ。
Aww.
このジオラマはあの日の冒険の記録。
That's so
みんな
cute.
と戦った友情の証さ。
それはバクラ君の言う通り、友情の証。これからもずっと信じ合える絆の証。城之内と本田と
アンズと美穂と。
バクラ
That's so
君、勇
cute.
気。永遠に変わることのない固く結ばれた
I wish this
友
stuff
情
was
の
carried over to
絆。
Duelist Kingdom. I know why it doesn't, but like, damn. Yeah. So cute. Okay. Well, that's the show done. We still have one more thing, though, before we move on. And that's the movie. We got the movie now. Before we watch the movie, I want to say this restoration was done by a different person than who made the show. This one's actually up on YouTube. And because it's up on YouTube, one of the songs has been replaced with a more YouTube-friendly song. So the subtitles will be better. There's going to be a song replaced with a YouTube-friendly song. Let's watch it. It's like 30 minutes. The subtitles were actually good in that last episode. Well, they were funny. I don't know if I would say they were good. You notice the quality is significantly worse on this one, though. Unfortunately.
俺もだよ。
じゃあそうしたぜ。
じゃあね、行こうぜ。
なんだよ、ショーゴ。お前もデュエルモンスターズのカード買いに
We're
来たの
back
か
to Duel Monsters.
一回も勝ったことなんてないくせに。
無駄無駄。お前なんかババ抜きでもやってろよ。
Old maid. That's so mean.
おいで。
What a bad game.
さあ。カードゲーム好きなんだね。
うん。でも僕全然弱くて強くなりたいんだけどな。
I mean, don't worry. Duel Monsters is basically just war.
デュエリストって知ってるかい？
うん、もちろん。デュエルモンスターズで戦う勇者のことだよね。僕一流のデュエリストになるのが夢なんだ。
そうかい。夢を持つのはいいことだ。
よし、これに決めた。
Keep dreaming, kid. Karibo!
それはレッドアイズブラックドラゴン。
Red Eyes Black Dragon.
ブルーアイズホワイトドラゴンと並ぶ伝説のレアカードだよ。
伝説のレアカード。
青き竜は勝利をもたらす。しかし赤き竜がもたらすものは勝利にあらず。
An opportunity, not certain victory. That's so funny.
戦う勇気があるものだけに。
戦う勇気。
その可能性を
Red Eyes has potential. Potential dragon. Just like the fucking Rada intro. It's probably based on this. How's the volume on this one? Is it? The theme song! Whoa. They're like, that feels like it was slightly different colors than the show. Fly at high again. Kaiba has brown hair now. Yep, they changed that. They've reduced the color saturation. They did change all the colors. They removed like the cool color saturation from the show. You just had it died for a little bit. We're getting a brief re-explainer for Duel Monsters for this movie. Why is a Totsume in Guardian number 1 a level 5? I don't know.
それを組み合わせることで弱いカードでも勝っちまうことだってできるんだぜ。よし、これだ、攻撃。
Look at the animation on this. You could tell it's a movie by how much movement there is. It's like so many extra panels for every movement.
結構駆け引きがいるんだね。
ああ、そこが面白いんだよ。
美穂でもできるかな。
じゃあさ、試しに俺とやってみようよ、美穂ちゃん。
まだちょっと見てる。
なんだと？俺たちがお前に負けるだと？ゲームもしないで何がわかんだよ。またボロボロに任してやろうか。
僕、ショーゴくん。
ショーゴ？
近所の子、止めなきゃ。あの子たちいつもいじめてるんだ。
Yuki is always going immediately in to fight bullies.
だって僕持ってるんだ。レッドアイズドラゴンのカードを。
レッドアイズ？
まさか嘘つけ。
Joey's like, Red Eyes? That's mine.
すげえカードが。
僕は誰よりも強いんだ。
レッドアイズってなんだ？
デュエルモンスターズではブルーアイズホワイトドラゴンが最強とされているんだけど、
Blue Eyes is known to be the most powerful card, and also Red Eyes is there too.
それに次いで強いレアカードなんだ。それを翔吾くんが。
This is the second strongest,
あの
except for
子は
Dark
昨日もゲーム
Magician.
持ちかけられたのにやらなかったのよ。自分の勝ちは
Dark Magician was in the intro for the anime. I don't think it ever got summoned in Season 0. It's like it's in the intro for Season 0, but I don't think it ever got summoned?
決まってるから
Am I misremembering or
気に
something?
入らねえな。強いカード持ってるだけで名人気取りかよ。
でも翔吾くん今まで
And Summon Skull, and Summon Skull was in the Season 0s too.
一流のデュエリストになるのが夢なんだけど、カード使いこなせてなくてさ。
下手ってこと？
っていうか負けるのが怖くて勝負に出られないみたい。
お前とやっても面白くねえんだよ。
そのせいで友達とゲームをすることまで怖くなっちゃってて。
You mean the friends that bully him?
強いカードが手に入ったんならやればいいのに。勝てるチャンスよ。
Zork too. Yeah, that's fair. It's not a card yet, but
手に
it will
入れ
be.
ただけで満足してんだろ。ま、戦わなきゃデュエリストもなんもねえけどよ。
偉そうに。城之内、あんただって初心者のくせに。
俺は物事の本質を見抜く男なの。
何言ってんの、バカじゃないの？
あ、バカって言ったな、バカって。
この間の平均って何あれ？
関係ねえだろ。
カイバ様、リストアップされたカードの持ち主が全てわかりました。
レッドアイズ、これほどのレアカードまで見つかるとはな。
レアカー
わざ
ド。
わざこのセンターをオープンして網を張った甲斐がありましたね。
Wait, they opened the place to play cards just to spy on everyone and see if rare cards show up?
このリスト全部わかりました。そしてもちろん
分かっております。武藤遊戯にもですね。
遊戯、ただ一人この俺と引き分けたデュエリスト、貴様との決着
Wait, did this come out before Death Tea?
をつける。必ず
But the hair color's different. Dude.
この俺だ。
Huh. I guess it would have to if Kaiba's still evil, right?
認めてくれる。このカードを持ってるだけで。これさえあれば、僕は最強のデュエリストだ。
It's still evil instead of like a mildly annoying guy who Yugi teams up with sometimes.
青木竜は勝利をもたらす。しかし赤木竜がもたらすものは勝利にあらず可能性なり。ただし
戦う勇気があるものだけに。
Damn kid.
招待状？
It's interesting, the color palette in this movie feels halfway between the original Toei animation series, Season 0, and what we'll see later in the next
デュエルモン
series.
スターズ大会？
勝ち抜き戦で勝った人は負けた人が使ったカードの中から1枚もらうことができるんだって。
じゃあ勝てば勝つほど強いカードが集まるってわけか。いつやるんだよ。
今日の夕方。
I wonder if that's intentional.
これから？くそ！なんで俺には招待状来ねえんだ。
さあ。
嫌だ、やめて。そうか。
一緒に来い。
行かないよ。僕行かない。
おいおい、真っ昼間から誘拐が。
大丈夫。
Damn, Joey!
山翔吾、お前はデュエルモンスターズ大会にエントリーされているんだ。欠席は許されない。
こんなガキまで招待されてたのかよ。
てめえ。さあ来るんだ。
待ってよ、無理やり参加させるなんて。
招待状を読まなかったか。出場の義務はあるが、欠席の
Wait, what? There's no right to refuse? That's just in the invitation, that's legal? That's awesome. Kaiba's so fucking cool.
カイバ様が許しはしないだろう。
カイバ？
そうか、この
You will play the card game.
こんな手段を使っても招待者全員を大会に出せとのご命令だ。遊戯、お前も来るんだ。遊戯、正吾と逃げろ。海馬に好き勝手させるな。待て。
Jonuchi is so fucking strong. What the fuck? This is the shittiest goon ever. Getting beat up by a high schooler.
ゲーム最近やらなくなっちゃったって。
だって僕が勝つって決まってるもん。だからやることなんてないんだ。
Oh yeah, that's totally it.
ゲームをしないなんて君は本当にそれでいいの？それが君の夢、君のなりたかったデュエリストの。いい
んだよ、僕は強いんだ。このカードがあるから。
翔吾君、本当にそう思ってる？
Do you really believe that? Do you honestly believe that? Do you really believe that? Goon number 2.
大丈夫か？しっかりしろ。
レッドアイズのカード。
And the puzzle?
なんだと？やろう。待ってろ、二人とも取り返してくる。
ゾロチク一人じゃ危ないよ。
僕のカード、あれがなきゃ僕は。
Ooh, don't crumple it like that, kid.
どこだ、やつは。いた。
Oh shit, a guy who knows how to fight. Oh, you're fucked now, Joey. He's still going after him. Was that Rex Raptor? I think that was Rex Raptor. This really is a fucking transitionary fossil.
なんとかこいつだけは取り戻したぜ。
Oh god, it's bent. It's not legal for tournament play anymore.
許せない。海馬君のこんなやり方。
確かに奴は戦う価値もねえデュエリストかもしれねえが、なんとかして奴をぶちのめしてやらなきゃ気が済まねえぜ。翔吾、お前どうする？このカードで戦うか？それともやっぱり戦わなくても勝ちは決まってるってか？
You gotta. Oh god, you gotta. Oh, it's so bent. Oh, it's a Pringle.
僕、本当は怖いんだ。もしレッドアイズを使って負けちゃったらって。そんなことになったらもう立ち直れないよ。
Watsy just says put it under a dictionary. It'll be fine. Ignore cards being illegal out of pack. Watsy's so good.
デュエリストになりてんじゃねえのか？
できないよ。
翔吾君、無理に戦うことはないよ。
You guys gotta put your cards in sleeves, dude.
許せないんだ、海馬君。
Whoa, it's a slightly different version of the theme because it's just Yugi.
そう来なくっちゃな。おい、翔吾、お前のカードだ。せめてゲームくらいは見ていけよ。ユーギが海馬の野郎をぶっ潰すところをな。
I'm waiting to see Weevil. Can we get a Weevil? He gave the puzzle back. He's like, I want to fight the other Yugi. Yes. So wait, I don't think we're going to be able to place this perfectly. It is sometime before Death Tea, where Kaiba becomes not evil and get into a coma. But also, it is after Joey learns about the other Yugi, which is in Death Tea. So... What the fuck? Imagine being in the audience for this. You've been watching Kaiba just fucking donk people all day. Dual discs! Dual discs! And then one kid walks in and Kaiba brings out an entire new system of dueling. Yes! It's the fucking Solid Vision dual disc where you put up 5 cards like that. There are 2,000 little squares behind them? Okay, it doesn't look like 2,000 little squares to me. That's not enough life points. Everyone loves Curse of Dragon. What the fuck is that? 20 for each 100? Maybe. Good old Gamera roar.
このカードはモンスターに気のエネルギーを与える。これで攻撃力は300ポイントアップ。ダークゾーラに攻撃。ヘルフレーム。
Dark Zora is a Vsauce. That's awesome. A Vsauce that combos with the fucking rock dragon guy. What is his name? I'm blanking on his name for some reason now. The normal monster fucker. Whoa. Animation on this one's really fun. Primite, thank you. Black armor guy kind of goes nuts. Yeah, it's really nice. Oh, okay. Burst stream destruction. It's a big mouth. Imagining blue eyes on like a big mouth Billy Bass thing. Oh, so Dark Magician is in here. But it's stronger than fucking Red Eyes. Whoa. That's a lot of flashing lights. Thank you, anime. This is a real DM bat. Oh my god. We're not only are we doing Dark Magician, we're also doing magical hats. Blue eyes, big white, mouth okay. Okay, I like that one. This is literally the fucking... Yeah, that's Spellbinding Circle. This is literally the Yugi Kaiba duel from Duelist Kingdom. Like this, they actually just took... Is he gonna threaten to do suicide?
さあどうした次のカードを出すがいい
Or yeah, is it the one versus the ghost or is it the one on the tower? I don't actually remember which one it is.
単体のモンスターで勝つのは不可能だが今の俺の手札には使えそうなカードはないエルフの剣士守備表示
ユウキ俺は長い間お前を倒す時をずっと待っていたそして今それが現実となる
It was versus fake Kaiba. Okay. Then how the fuck are they gonna end this one?
邪悪なる鎖邪悪なる鎖
そして死者蘇生のカードで1枚目のブルーアイズを復活させる加えて俺の手札に
まさか
Fake Blue Eyes Ultimate, that's how. I guess.
ブルーアイズが3体
What?
邪悪なる鎖は同じモンスターを3体連携
Huh?
同時に場に出すことが
I wasn't expecting it to be actually fake Blue Eyes. What Ultimate Dragon?
ファーストストリームブルーアイズが3体なんてやつだ
もうダメだ
俺のカードはルイーズ守備表示
そんな雑魚に何ができる行けブルーアイズ
Louise!
お前がどうあがこうとこの俺には勝てんのださあ遊戯カードを引けどんなカードを出そうと蹴散らしてやるまでだ
This movie rocks. It's really good. I will say the one thing is, it is lacking in setup. It feels like it could have been longer. It feels a little rushed, perhaps.
お前
Even.
のゲームでもあるんださっき引いたカードを見ろ俺の血がついてるあれはお前のレッドアイズだ
Ah, the red eyes ended up in his deck.
さっきカードをばらまいた時にすり替えさせてもらった
どうして
Oh.
強引なのは分かってるだが戦いもしねえでデュエリストの幻にしがみついてんのは我慢できねえカード抱え込んで夢見んのはよせ
そうかゾノウチ君
Silverfang at a level 5. Well, if he combines it with Raigeki, it should still be a pretty powerful combo. Ah, Summon Skull!
最強カードデーモンといえどブルーアイズの前では雑魚当然
One of your strongest cards.
ファーストストリーム
One of your strongest cards. It's stronger than Red Eyes. It's the same strength as Dark Magician.
レッドアイズを使わない
そりゃそうだろうお前に戦う気がなければ遊戯は使わないぜ
敵に背中を向けたままのこのカードは今のショーン敵に向かっていくかどうかそれはショーンの戦う勇気次第
Oh, okay.
メテオドラゴン
Kaiba can't beat one defense position monster. Yeah, as long as he keeps summoning shit in defense position, he's good.
的なゲームでよくデュエリストだと胸を張れたものだなユウお遊びはここ
Because Kaiba refuses to summon a second monster. Or, I guess, technically a fourth monster.
アンガードマジックの
Oh, well, that'll help.
このカードが出ている限り互いのモンスターは全て攻撃表示
Yugi, what are you doing? Meteor
今
Dragon!
すぐ蹴りをつけたいところだが1ターン待たなければ俺から攻撃することはできないさあ攻
Wait,
撃してこい
if it forces you to wait until attacking, what is the point of switching it? Can you not switch positions in this game?
それで全て終わりだ
Meteor Dragon and Summon Skull and the Red Eyes? Neat.
ショーゴ分かっているはずだ今遊戯が勝てる可能性はレッドアイズにしかねえって
でもレッドアイズ使っても負けちゃったらカードはきっと取られちゃうそしたら僕は昔の僕に逆戻りだそれでいいの
Are you sure?
それが君の夢、君のなりたかったデュエリストなの？
Shogo here is like having his own end of Evangelion moment. It's all up in his head.
諦めないぜ。デュエリストの強さは勝利の可能性を信じて最後まで戦い続ける勇気があるかどうかで決まる。
青木竜は勝利。
3D graphics.
赤木竜がもたらすものは勝利にあらず可能性なり。ただし戦う勇気があるものだけに。
戦う勇気。
強さは憧れてるだけじゃ手に入らねえ。自分で掴むもんだ。
The font on the dual monster cards in this one is so fucking Magic the Gathering. That's crazy.
やるよ僕も戦う。
聞こえねえぜショーゴ。
僕も戦う。行け僕のレッドアイズドラゴン。
何？
待ってたぜその言葉。
Whoa. Judge, my opponent is slow playing. Let's get Billy Brake in here to hear what he thinks about this movie. You scumbag!
しかし赤木竜がもたらすもの勝利にあらず可能性なり。
そんな可能性などない。レッドアイズだろうと3体のブルーアイズにかなうはずが。
融合。これがレッドアイズの可能性だ。
He's got polymerization!
そんなカード。
Wait, shit! Meteor, Black Dragon!
もしかしてあれが。
Good old Gamma Roars.
その可能性を示すカードもどこかにあるはず。巡り会えるかどうかそれも戦う勇気次第さ。
I don't know what's happening here card mechanics wise, but it's fucking awesome. When this card is normal summon or special summon, or when this card is special summon, I guess it would be. When this card is fusion summon, probably even more so. You blow up your entire opponent's board and then win the game.
だが忘れるな。戦いは終わったわけじゃない。お前は俺が認めた。たった一人戦う価値のある相手だ。
Maybe it is after Death Key. He's like vaguely normal now, but not really that normal.
それとデュエリスト正吾の勇気のな。
Oh, they were right. This is the song they replaced. So this is not actually in here. The DM opening, the American DM opening is not actually in this movie. Did Shogo do anything? He said he's willing to fight. That's what he did. Is he had the will to fight. He didn't actually fight, but he had the will to fight, and that's what's important. Ansu wasn't in this film. Miho had more time in this film than Ansu did. What is going on with this? It really feels like it should have had more time. I guess this is stuff happening. They're showing Shogo playing. Everyone's watching Shogo play now. .3D graphics. She was in the opening, and she's in the end credits too. Isn't that amazing? They didn't have to hire Anzu's voice actor to come back. Isn't that cool? Yeah. This kid. What I think of when I think of Yu-Gi-Oh! Is this kid and his Red Eyes Black Dragon. Why is Unguard Magic the only card in full English? I don't know. Huh. Bizarre. What a weird little movie. A real transitionary fossil between Season 0 and DM. And it feels it feels rushed. It makes me wonder if they had to get this out fast because they were losing the rights to the Yu-Gi-Oh property. I had to get out before then. Also, I'm pretty sure that thing at the beginning was saying it was distributed by Dai, it would explain why it has Gamera roars in it. And why we didn't have any Godzilla roars this time around. I'm looking it up. Dai logo. No, it was Toei's logo. Dai's logo is slightly different. Yeah, okay. It looks similar, but not the same. Okay, yeah, it was definitely Toei's logo then. Huh. What an interesting little thing. Grew up to be the 7th best Red Eyes player. That's probably true. Which, still puts him below everyone else. All right. It's ad break time. We're going to do a little ad break, and then we're going to take a look at what's going on in Genesis. So, see you in a sec.
Godzilla, king of the monsters, surging up alive from the depths of the sea in a tidal wave of horror.
See before your very eyes a city of 6 million wiped out by a monster breathing flame.
What is Godzilla?
A creature from prehistoric time?
Or a mutant monster created by man's tampering with nature?
Godzilla!
Modern weapons cannot kill it.
Can science find a way to stop this creature's mad rampage before civilization is destroyed?
For the answer, see Godzilla, king of the monsters.
A tale to stun the mind.
More fantastic than any ever written by Jules Verne.
More terrifying than any ever shown on the screen.
See Godzilla, king of the monsters.
All right, we are back. Here's your regular Yu-Gi-Oh! Tuesday reminder to subscribe to Batchu's Library, where I do all my Yu-Gi-Oh! Reacts. I've got 3 more recorded that just need to be edited, and they'll be up soon. So make sure you're subscribed so you get those when they come out. It'd be really helpful if you did. Really, really, really helpful. Also other clips too, like if you like the season 0 reacts, you want to go back to the beginning, those will be coming out as well. Just need to catch up. But today's thing I want to talk about is Genesis coming to Japan. So Konami has confirmed that Genesis will be an available format in Japan. It'll be using the existing points of the format that we currently know via Neuron. They explained the basic rules. Link pendulums are unavailable, of course. No pendulum extra monster zone, of course. Neuron shows that any cards not available in the TCG are forbidden, such as the vanilla Black Luster Soldier, Gagaga Magician, or X Saber Bruno. Gagaga Magic, that one. Or X Saber Bruno. So, Genesis in OCG. I did not expect this to ever happen. I kind of figured that the animosity between the different branches of Konami would force this to not actually be a thing forever, basically. This is kind of incredible. I think it shows that Konami is letting Konami of America be its own. I feel like some of this to me kind of shows that perhaps there is maybe even potentially some sort of merger happening. Not like a merger because they're already one company, obviously. But I could see the formats kind of... There's a lot of stuff happening that makes the formats kind of feel like they're merging a little bit. I don't know. But this is at least a very good sign that they like the direction of Genesis and they like what it does for Yu-Gi-Oh! as a product that is bought and sold. I think part of the reason why they like it is because Genesis, as it currently exists, is purely designed to sell the third worst selling product cards in every product, right? So I'm not surprised that they like that. They like that it sells cards that otherwise wouldn't get sold. But, that's still good. Feels like every other card game is aiming for simultaneously international releases too. It's just not having simultaneous international release feels so outdated at this point. I'm surprised it's lasted as long as it has. I think the only way it does last as long as it does is because the arguments between America and Japan, like the Konami America and Konami Japan, not the actual nations, and just the fact that we'd have to catch up on product. That's still the big sticking point for me, is how are we going to catch up on all the cards that are not available in the TCG? That's going to be a concern at some point. But I think generally this is a really good thing. And I think this signals that we could potentially see Genesis come to Master Duel even. The biggest sticking point for me about whether Genesis would come to Master Duel is the fact that I in no way thought it would ever come to the OCG. And here we are. Here we are now with it coming to the OCG. So now the biggest barrier to me is gone. The second biggest barrier is, will the Master Duel people want to bother coding it? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if they want to bother coding it. Now, what's interesting is we don't have any information right now as to... There's one little thing. There's one little question in the back of my mind. How does OCG Genesis treat the different rulings? Like, for instance, the most important one, I think, Seagok. Simultaneous effects go on chain. Oh my god, so many fucking pop-ups. Why is this the Yu-Gi-Oh Wiki and not the Yu-Gi-Oh Wiki? Is there one that is for the Yu-Gi-Oh Wiki? Simultaneous effects, thank you. Okay. So the OCG and the TCG have two different rulings for how this stuff goes. Trigger effects would activate at the same time or activate at the following order: turn player mandatory priority, non-turn player mandatory effects, turn player's optional effects, non-turn player optional effects. In the OCG, it goes like this: the effect of cards that activate mandatorily in that timing. The effects of cards that are face up on the field or graveyard that are otherwise public will be optionally activated in that timing. And then the effects of cards that are in the hand or set or otherwise private, which can optionally be activated in that timing. And this right here can significantly change the way certain cards work. In particular, a certain card that is very popular in Genesis format I think it's Ghost Mourner, right? That's the one I'm thinking of. Yeah. So, considering that OCG, as it stands right now, OCG is just taking the points list from TCG. Like, it seems like Konami of America is handling the points list and then giving it to OCG to run their Genesis format stuff. Will the points list have to adjust for cards that are way stronger in the OCG because of weird rulings discrepancies? Or will we finally just iron out all the rules discrepancies? I could see that being that happening too. So that's the only thing that as a question mark for me. I'm like, but it's not a huge one. I don't think it's a huge deal. I think it's a matter of like how many points you put on a card. On a couple of cards, like you point them a little more than they would have otherwise, and like not even like a ton. I think overall this is a big plus for Genesis format, expanding the region that Genesis format is available, showing that Konami is all in on Genesis and is not going to just kill it immediately. I love this. Anyways, Farfa hates this for some reason. We dog on Farfa a lot here, but that's because Farfa keeps posting nonsense. This is how you know you can say goodbye to all pretenses of Genesis being balanced. OCG will probably be working on the points list. I think Dyer has the perfect reply here. Me when I just lie and make something up. He's just like... Why would he assume, one, that OCG would be working on the points list when there's no indication of that so far? Two, that the OCG doesn't know how to balance cards. This is kind of racist, right? I don't know. I've got to be honest. I don't know. I think it's xenophobic, certainly. Yu-Gi-Oh! Players have some really weird ideas about the OCG. I don't know if they think if it's because of the differences in the format that have caused different playstyles to be prevalent in the different regions, or if it's because of outright racism. In some, it's going to be outright racism. In others, I'm like, in this case, I don't know that it's racist exactly, but xenophobic? A little bit, certainly. But not like a crazy amount. It's very restrained as far as that goes. It's just this weird, it's that little background xenophobia that just kind of lives in the back of people with otherwise decent politics minds that like makes you assume random shit when something happens, right? Why are we assuming the OCG will influence the decisions of the Genesis team? This isn't advanced. The staple doesn't go through a sheet of paperwork without Japan's approval. This is how the bureaucracy works. But this isn't a staple. This is a format made by Konami of America. I knew I could count on you to be a chud doomer about this somehow. Well, someone has to be realistic about the poor management of our favorite game. It literally says it'll follow the TCG points list and all cards unavailable in TCG are banned. I love spreading misinfo. Can you tell me which specific point I said here was misinformation? Mr. Japan has to okay, maybe it is a little racist. Maybe it is a little. Mr. Japan? You can't be saying that, not white baby. Oh my god, you can't be saying that. You cannot be saying that. I'm not entirely convinced this isn't rage bait. It could be. I feel like Dyer's rage bait is better though. How the fuck does this work with release? Just didn't read. Hasn't read. Hasn't done the research. Here's a good point, actually. The TCG is already bad at balancing Genesis. What makes you think OCG is going to be worse? Oh, actually, this one I do agree with. The OCG gets to have Genesis, but we're not allowed to have Rush Duel for some reason. Why are we not allowed to have Rush Duel when they get to have Genesis format? That's our baby. Come on, you got to give us your baby too. You didn't give a shit about it to begin with. Don't spill your alligator tears. Okay, there's people being weird in... there are people being weird in Farfa's replies, as you would expect. I imagine the quotes are even... There's not very many quotes, actually. Or did they get rid of the... Did they get rid of the ability to show quotes on Twitter? They did, didn't they? Or something like that? I haven't used Twitter in a long time. I only went on here to make fun of this, because I think this is so stupid. Farfa needs to stick to being a political reply guy. He rocks at that. Yeah. I don't know. But yeah, it's very strange to be doomer about what is, like, really the best news Genesis has had in a while. More replies to this. I wonder what other people are saying. They use the same points list. Okay. Yeah, the one that the OCG made, or the TCG made. He's probably worried he'll have to engage with Genesis again if it's integrated in the Master Duel. True! I'm really positive about this. I think this is awesome. I'm really hopeful that this is like a little shot of adrenaline that Genesis needs to become like a really established format for Yu-Gi-Oh! Let's see if there's anything on YouTube worth watching. I thought I'd had more on that, but no, that was really it. Oh, we can watch a Farfa video. I don't really want to. I don't really care what Farfa has to say about pendulums. I really don't want to watch an hour and a half video about Farfa's opinions on pendulum. And it's framed as a history. And considering that we watched a Farfa video the other day, like last week, or was it the week before that? It was the week before that, I think. No, wait, it was last week. We had 2 Yu-Gi-Oh! Tuesdays last week. And he just made up a stat, and it was just like, I just made that up, but it sounds right. I don't want to watch his history videos. There is a new episode of the Kaijus in the Detail, that's true. We could watch an Out of Characters video. Out of Character videos are actually good, and you should watch them on your own. We don't need to watch that. Oh, we can watch an APS amplifier video, sure.
Hey guys, Paul here. So today I wanted to have a conversation that I think is really important for pretty much anybody who is consuming media today and talking about it on the
is this about media literacy and Yu-Gi-Oh players?
internet. And that's the idea that it is okay to criticize the things that you love. And it's okay.
Oh, wait, shit, I actually agree with this. I've had this problem for a long time. Back when I was on Twitter, people always used to get upset about me criticizing things that I love. Speak your shit, man.
On the things that you enjoy. And yeah, so this is going to mostly be about Yu-Gi-Oh, but I do feel like it can kind of apply to anything, and it's really important. So some background for why I'm even making a video like this at all is, you guys know, on this channel especially, I talk about Yu-Gi-Oh!
He does a lot of videos where he talks about Yu-Gi-Oh dying, I will say.
A lot, right? We criticize it sometimes we praise it, we talk about different issues within the community, issues around products, accessibility, all these different things. And I get a lot of responses to the videos that I make and the posts on social media and all of that stuff, right? Some people feel like I complain way too much about Yu-Gi-Oh! To the extent that they'll say, like, you want Yu-Gi-Oh! Dead.
I tried Genesis, but I'm not just chilling over in Master Duel with Paleozoics. Hey, you can play Paleos in Genesis. It's a pretty good deck.
People who tend to agree with a lot of the takes that I have, but even among those people, they'll sometimes be confused by the fact that I still
not top tier, but still pretty good.
So I've been going to a lot of regionals lately and things like that, and sometimes I like to, share my experiences or how I did or things that I've noticed at these regionals. And like one of the more recent videos that I made was sort of talking about how if you're going to a regional, then you kind of got to like really prepare for it and
maybe it'll come to Master Duel and you won't even have to move platform.
All the many crazy things that you'll encounter, the strong cards that are difficult to out, the annoying hand traps that impede your plays. You got to have a game plan for all of it because that's what it means to compete at a regional. And so when I make videos like that or posts about that, I'll get people who are like, what? Like I thought you were, an ally to the casual Yu-Gi-Oh player. I thought that you, stood for the mid-core of Yu-Gi-Oh. Why are you suddenly endorsing, these broken cards that clearly need to be banned, or Konami's horrible business practices, or that, they need to change tournaments. You shouldn't, all these things. And
I do love YouTube commenters who refuse to allow you to have a nuanced opinion on anything.
So it can be a lot to take in and read all these different things swirling around about you. That's, I guess, what I signed up for as a content creator. But some people think that I am a hypocrite this way, or I'm a hypocrite that way, or that for whatever reason I'm just flip-flopping on Yu-Gi-Oh opinions and all of that, and I'm just saying whatever gets some buzz, and that's the end of the day. So I wanted to basically make this video to kind of explain where I stand in all of this and make the broader point that it's okay to just have mixed feelings on things. So when it comes to casual Yu-Gi-Oh, kind of the average man's Yu-Gi-Oh, we'll call it mid-core Yu-Gi-Oh even, I think that Yu-Gi-Oh's got really serious issues, right?
If Paul got someone to edit these videos like Farfa quote-unquote video essays, he would have, it would literally be the same exact shit. Except I think sometimes Paul's opinions are more nuanced than Farfa's.
Market price in the MTG player really, really low. Not a lot of people really want it. A lot of products sit on shelves and rot. And it's a bit of a shame because
Magic in One Piece has its players criticizing it, and I don't see anyone getting all over defensive about it. I will say there are, I don't know about One Piece, there are Magic players who get really upset if you criticize Magic. I've been watching a lot of the professor who criticizes Magic quite a bit, and his comments are so annoying. Oh, so there are quite a, and also there was like the whole like a guy calling Commander format kind of a, he was calling like the way Commander is catered to slop. But people interpreted that as like, you're calling all Commander players slop pigs and pigs. That's like it was weird because like someone was like, you're calling all Commander players pigs. That's dehumanization, just like what they did at the Holocaust. Which is like, you're making insane leaps here, buddy. What the fuck is going on?
Like Yu-Gi-Oh, and I would love to see
that was an insane time to be online.
When the card shops don't want to stock Yu-Gi-Oh, that can ultimately,
so Magic players could be really insane too.
Choose not to stock Yu-Gi-Oh products anymore, and that would suck. Also, I think that Yu-Gi-Oh.
Oh god, Magic players get so mad when you talk about land. I don't like land as a system. I understand why land as a system exists. I understand why it's in the main deck because they hadn't thought to put it outside of the main deck yet. But I think it's a bad system. I think you could do better. But Magic players, they hate to hear it. They hate to hear it so much.
Accessibility problems. There aren't really great methods of onboarding people into the game. It's got a reputation for being really intimidating to outsiders. Really hard
but
to
then Magic players don't know how to actually
and
criticize
I have yet to
Yu-Gi-Oh
really
at
see
all.
products that do much to correct that.
All of Magic
There are certainly,
criticisms,
steps
Magic
they've
player
taken.
criticisms
I mean,
are
they
just
made
like,
that two-player
oh,
card, a couple years ago.
turn
I
takes
didn't think
30
it was a very
minutes.
effective product. I
Wow.
don't think that it really reflects what modern Yu-Gi-Oh is like, and it also had some just literally like sort of mechanical issues in it, like not having a game bat and like not explaining all the extract mechanics.
Probably
So that was
because
a little
most
bit
Yu-Gi-Oh
strange,
players
but,
have played
it's an
Magic,
attempt.
and most
There's
Magic
also
players
the
have not
legendary
played
modern decks that
Yu-Gi-Oh.
have been coming out and stuff. So those look like they're supposed to be more gateway tools, but it's
Pet peeve of mine, these reflect approachability, not accessibility. Yeah, I think this is the this is the language of social justice just being diluted into meaninglessness. Happens to every single word in social justice these days for some reason. I don't know why.
still a really big issue that Yu-Gi-Oh's got. And so as far as that's concerned, it means that Yu-Gi-Oh is a hard game to approach and therefore won't grow. And again,
They
I like
even said
Yu-Gi-Oh,
approach instead
so
of
I'd really like
access.
to see the game be an approachable thing. Now,
Like as far as accessibility in Yu-Gi-Oh, the main issues are you have to read cards. So if you don't have literacy or you're blind, you can't read cards, right? You need like a screen reader of some kind, which wouldn't be easily usable for tournament play, right? There's a problem of accessibility there. There's also the problem of accessibility as far as cost goes, right? See, okay, when I say social justice, I mean it as a good thing. I like social justice. I was in the trenches in 2016. I was watching H-Bomber Guy back then. I was in the fucking trenches on Reddit. I was in the war on social justice on the side of social justice. But yeah, so like that's the accessibility, whereas approachability is what, like you're saying, approachability is more
some people might not feel
the
like
fact
these
that
are
Yu-Gi-Oh
really
is
big
kind of
issues,
hard
right?
to get
Like,
into.
If you're a competitive player, you might get your cards kind of either
Yeah,
way.
no, I get
like
your
a card
Raxator.
like Forbidden Crown or the new Albaz Fallen Dragon thing. It doesn't really matter if it's expensive or
Yeah,
cheap. If the product's
it's
good or
funny.
bad,
Like
or if it sells.
when you go back to H-Bomber Guy's channel, I think I've done this on stream before, but if you go to H-Bomber Guy's channel and you scroll back, I think he's deleted some videos at this point, some older videos. But like I could go back to basically where was the first video I watched of his is, I think it was literally this one. I think this is the first video of his I watched on release. 10 years ago. 10 fucking years ago. Fuck. I was in my college dorm watching H-Bomber Guy videos constantly. Fuck, dude. So long ago. Anyways, back to Paul talking about people complaining about him complaining.
So what do you really care how a product does?
The further back you go,
Similarly,
the
if
more
you're
hair
a
he has. Many
competitive
such
player,
cases.
Then the game's, accessibility doesn't matter to you. It doesn't really mean anything, right? Like, you're good at the game. You go to the regionals. You go to the YCS events. Why do you care if, little Timmy can learn how to play Yu-Gi-Oh or even wants to learn how to play Yu-Gi-Oh? It doesn't really change your experience, seemingly anyway. So,
Well, Paul would actually know why this matters if he watched my video about instrumental play in Yu-Gi-Oh. If you watched my video, which you can find, it is called "Are You Playing Yu-Gi-Oh Wrong?" Really nice clickbait title. I feel like you did fall away from that pipe at the end of very clear. Yeah, well, but are funny or flashy. So if you watch this video, you'll understand that the reason why competitive players and casual players hate each other is because they both disrupt the magic circle for each other. Competitive players have instrumental play that is reinforced by YouTubers like myself and other people. Well, I guess not myself as much anymore because I don't post deck profiles anymore. But players who play competitively reinforce each other and create a way to play Yu-Gi-Oh correctly, which casual players are outside of. But casual players themselves create magical circles in which they have their own way of playing Yu-Gi-Oh correctly, their own form of instrumental play. And that boxes out things that competitive players do. And when the two of them interact, say on the Master Duel ladder or on Dueling Book, they fucking hate each other. They hate each other so fucking much because they're both ruining the game for each other by not playing correctly. That's why that happens. You're telling the truth about GMX breaking the magic circle. That's true, actually.
It's kind of one of those
I do still
things.
break
And
the
last
magic
thing
circle
is,
for casual
I don't
players
think
occasionally.
Yu-Gi-Oh's got casual formats.
But I've stopped replying to the people who come up with crazy shit. Let's actually... I'm just like complete. This is a complete ADHD stream. I'm so sorry. But also, I bet you love it. You little freaks. You love it. GMX. If you go to the fucking comments, let me find a good one. It's ones I haven't replied to. I've stopped replying to these. Oh, did it not even show up? They don't even show up anymore. Here's one. Anyone use Alos and Velox to gain life points and then drop a Nibiru when your opponent is almost done with their summons? Oh, I didn't think about that. I didn't think about that. Wow. That's a really good synergy. Alos and Velox, you can wipe your entire field after you get your life points back. Whoa. Like, what the fuck do you mean? God, there was another one I saw recently that it's right here at the top. In Genesis, Alos, Velox, and Danine can be tributes for a Metamorphosis toolbox. What? What do you mean you're paying 15 points for Metamorphosis in Genesis, the deck that needs Miscellaneousaurus? Rinbrom, Borolo, Geokraken, and Millenniumized Restrict can help you get more interactions on the opponent's turn. So, I've seen this in the Genesis server. Dude, I was actually theorizing. I showed this to Nova. I love laughing at stupid comments with Nova. I showed this to Nova and I was like, I feel like the only deck that could actually effectively use Metamorphosis is Monarch, right? Because they have plenty of points to go around. But like the problem with Metamorphosis and Monarch is that you have to summon from the extra deck, and Monarch locks you out of the extra deck quite frequently. So it would have to be like a turn 3 play. And even then, I don't know if it's even good, right? Because you still have to draw into it. They could summon Carbonella Warrior. That's true. But yeah, so I've started hearting these and not commenting on them at all. I don't like it. I just heart it to get it out of my feed, and I leave it. I've stopped interacting. I don't want to be mean anymore, except for this right in here where I was mean, but they won't know. They won't ever know because they'll never watch the VOD.
Talk about this a lot. I think that if you want to sink your teeth into competitive Yu-Gi-Oh, it's a lot of fun. It's very deep. It's very challenging, so know what you're signing up for, but it can feel very gratifying and fulfilling. And so in that way, I think that like Yu-Gi-Oh is really fun once you get past maybe that hurdle. If you are into, the high octane, super competitive, super nuanced, like sort of that style of Yu-Gi-Oh, great, wonderful, very fun. But Yu-Gi-Oh is not a very chill game where you can just sit and relax and play. There isn't really something like a Commander format that you can just casually play with your friends on a...
What are you talking about, dog? What are you talking about? There is a Commander format. It's probably in my recommended feed. It looks like it's not. It was over here, wasn't it? Okay, I guess not. Golden Nova.
Yu-Gi-Oh is the greatest card.
Domain format. Did he say officially sanctioned?
Friday night and play. Very fun. But Yu-Gi-Oh is not a very chill game where you can just sit and relax and play. There isn't really something like a commander format that you can just casually play with your friends on a Friday night.
That's just the implication.
The power levels are...
I mean, I guess I don't think a officially supported commander format is necessary to play a commander format.
Really
especially
wonky,
if you're on the casual level. It's only I feel like officially supported or sanctioned is really only necessary if you're looking for CEDH, right?
Between a lot of
and
decks,
I don't think anyone's looking for that in Yu-Gi-Oh.
It hasn't proven to exactly be that. I think there might be some value in maybe like 0 Point Genesis, but that doesn't seem to be super explored. And
it's because it would suck. Zero. Let me show you what zero. Well, let me show you what 0 Point Genesis would look like. You remove this guy, these, and these, and there you go. There's and the Shinas. There you go. That's your 0 Point Genesis format. Have fun. Cool tune. I don't know if Cool Tune can actually be a 0 Point format. Q and clip is like pretty important, and getting the hand traps. Hi Sarge. But you know what you can do 0 Point format on? Monarch. Just remove this shit. Remove these cards and this shit. Easy 0 Point Genesis format deck. Top 100 Point Genesis format. Like, the reason why there's no play of 0 Point Genesis format is because it is dog shit. Orange Light should not be 0 points. That is absolutely correct, yeah.
You can, of course, make fan formats, but it would always be nice if Konami themselves could maybe change card design to lower power levels, or maybe like make a format.
They tried that. It resulted in sets not selling. You can't simultaneously complain about the fact that sets won't sell for the price that that's printed on them, and also be mad that Konami power creeps.
That actually feels closer to the lower power level thing that people want. But regardless,
30 Point Pog feels cheaper than it should be. I don't know. It very rarely sees play. Only the Monarch deck is really playing it. I think people were testing with it in Radiant Typhoon at one point, but it didn't end up being the most preferred way to play.
Those are just, thoughts and concerns that I have. So, with all that aside, why is it then that I'm still like playing Yu-Gi-Oh, right? Like if I'm complaining about it all the time, then what the hell am I doing going to these regionals? Like, what is that about? And like, why am I talking about regionals in this very tough love sort of way? Like, that's the way it is, you have to get better, don't just blame Konami.
He almost did that. That's the way it is, honey.
What? But like, you spent your whole career blaming Konami. Like, isn't that pretty much, how you make your money is just saying that Yu-Gi-Oh's dying every week and that these things need to change and Konami's not doing a good job? I trusted you, Paul, right? Like, you're supposed to be our ally. You're supposed to be our friend. And so people see me going to these regionals and it's like, well,
I'm an ally to the casual community.
So, to clarify all of this,
not one of you. I'm just an ally.
To be many different Yu-Gi-Oh players. I consider myself to kind of be a person who wears many different hats in Yu-Gi-Oh. When I go to a regional,
magical hats, you might say,
event, I prepare a lot. I really lock in. I grind, and I kind of throw all of that other stuff.
Looks over to Do It For Her poster for Genesis.
To,
True.
Down to play against my opponent. So one of the cards I talk about a lot is like Lunalight Liger.
Like one of the things covering up is Pot of Greed.
Powers-like card that's tough to out for a lot of decks, and people don't like it. So some people think that Lunalight Liger Dancer should be banned, or that Lunalight should be nerfed in some other way, or being able to make 2 Lunalight Liger Dancers is really unfair, so maybe they should limit it to 1. Those are all totally valid thoughts and interesting conversations in their own right.
You can't get my goat, Sarge.
I think it'd be
you
great
can't.
If like Liger Dancer
it's mine.
Maybe at 1 instead of at 2 or something like that. But when it comes to playing in a tournament, it's still currently legal and at 3, and so it doesn't actually matter what I think about the card's power level or the game design behind it or whether or not it should be banned, because I chose to enter this tournament, so this is what I'm going to have to deal with. People are going to make it because it's legal, and so as a competitor, if I want to win, then I need to have some kind of a game plan for it. Same goes for Molcharmies or Droll and Lockbird, or even just the general fact that Yu-Gi-Oh's got really, really long combos and really, really obscenely powerful decks. I've gone on record as saying I don't really like the way that modern Yu-Gi-Oh plays out all the time. I don't like long turns, I don't like Omni Negates, I don't love generic extra deck cards, I don't
How dare you not like those? Death!
like decks that bridge into 3 different engines. But if I'm playing in a tournament, none of my personal opinions on that stuff really matters. I'm in the tournament, people are gonna play it, I gotta beat it if I wanna win. So as far as I'm concerned, that stuff does not matter, right? Like, it doesn't matter what I think about Yu-Gi-Oh's design and direction and all that. I just gotta play it. And I like that. I like challenging myself to sort of think about Yu-Gi-Oh! Strictly engaging with it on its own terms, right? When I go to these regionals and stuff, that's kind of what I feel like I'm doing, is just getting a real taste of what modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Is like and, you know, challenging myself to see if I can beat it.
What Paul is essentially like having to deal with here is the people that come into his chat and go like, well, he's dealing with two sides, right? He's dealing with one side that is just like, how dare you like Yu-Gi-Oh! Despite having criticisms of it, and another side that is like, oh, you have criticisms of Yu-Gi-Oh! And yet you participate in it. Interesting. It's awesome that he has to make a video like this. Oh my god, I love Yu-Gi-Oh! Community.
I still try to play decks that aren't necessarily like the top of the meta, but that I still feel can like compete. That's why I'm using junk like Rescue Ace of all things. And I'm proud of myself when I do well. So I think that there's definitely something to be said there. Now conversely, when I go to my local card shop, or even when I go to maybe like a normal convention, right? Like an anime convention where the crowd is a lot more casual and a lot more like nostalgic, right? You'll find these people who I remember Yu-Gi-Oh! Or maybe I quit Yu-Gi-Oh! Back in 2014.
I'm kind of surprised that Konami hasn't started doing like Yu-Gi-Oh! Conventions, or even just turn YCSs into like full-on conventions where they can attract casual fans to come in and get to the vendors, right? And also like pay money to be there.
I can similarly sympathize with those people because in that setting where we're not, you know, trying to...
Although they are kind of moving that way, just a little bit. Just I'm surprised they haven't gone all in.
Sometimes, like, it's easy to feel like it's maybe gotten beyond you. So, you know, you want to teach
That's fair,
how to play
Raptor. That's the best kind of meta deck.
In the card game room, and suddenly you realize, man, this game is really freaking hard to teach, and Konami is not making my job any easier. There's not really any great products for this. There's not really a way...
And I will say, if they did that, if they did convert them into like more broader convention things, they could have people there to teach people how to play modern Yu-Gi-Oh! It would be a perfect way. That's probably the best way to teach Yu-Gi-Oh! Is to actually be there in person and play with them, right? So it would be a really good way to onboard people.
To explain what the heck, you know, starters and extenders and hand traps and board breakers and chains and...
I'm very smart, and Yu-Gi-Oh!
Really
Konami should hire me
I wish that there was a more
to fix their game.
Way to teach Yu-Gi-Oh!
And
play
events.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Without, you know, everybody being super duper on edge and walking on eggshells.
They should hire me to be an ideas
But those are
girl.
just two different scenarios, two different settings. And I have beliefs about both of them. I think that in a perfect world, everybody can just play Yu-Gi-Oh! And enjoy it. In that way, I sometimes feel very envious of games like Pokemon and Magic the Gathering, and even like One Piece and Gundam
Exactly.
and stuff, because I do think that they strike
It's gay
a
and
closer
girl
balance
together.
between, you know,
Girl.
competitive depth, but also accessibility.
Anyways,
and
I'm exploding you,
casual play.
Sarge.
It feels like Yu-Gi-Oh! There's not really that same distinction, or that same, I suppose, like pendulum, nuance, spectrum, whatever you want to call it. It's like you're either all in or you're just ostracized out. Like, generally speaking, that's sometimes how it feels. So if you enjoy being all in, good for you. But if you don't enjoy that, then there's not very much to offer you. And so that's kind of what I mean when I say that it's possible to have very conflicting, ambivalent opinions about the things that you like. I really, really like Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, more than just playing it. Like, I really, really like collecting it.
It's awesome that this one is named How Do Yu-Gi-Oh! Players Still Not Comprehend This? It is technically true. It also is such a vague title. Incredibly vague title.
I've got lots of plushes and all kinds of things. Like, I've got Yu-Gi-Oh!
Oh
merch,
yeah, Paul said
old stuff,
Pendulum. All the
new
mid-core
stuff.
players just
I
stopped
like
listening.
anime,
Ah,
I
fuck.
like all of
Ah,
these things.
damn it.
So it isn't really like, you know...
That's the people he was trying to get to listen.
I don't see why people would think that, like, I want Yu-Gi-Oh! To die, or that, like, I need to just quit it. Because, I mean, clearly I enjoy it. And one last thing that I think that I should actually add, because a lot of people don't understand this, sorry, my voice is like continually dying as I do this video, I'm a little bit sick right now, is that
Dude,
it's okay to
go rest.
sort of empathize with people who aren't playing the same type of Yu-Gi-Oh that you are. So even though I can compete in Yu-Gi-Oh and get really like nitty gritty and get into it, that doesn't mean
So
that,
this is
like, I
this
can't
is literally
empathize with
my
casual
my
players.
video, except
It's
without
also
all the
worth noting
cool
that I'm not
game
the one who
theory
actually
stuff,
needs an
like
entry
without all
level
the cool
product.
magic
When I say
circle
that
and
Yu-Gi-Oh
instrumental
can
play
feel
and shit like that.
overwhelming or feel
No
difficult
no
to
academic
learn,
stuff, just like
it
vibes.
isn't that I don't know how to play it. I
That's
actually know how to
awesome.
play Yu-Gi-Oh
I'm
quite
glad other
well.
people
I've been a
are
judge,
getting
I've done
on this,
commentary,
that
and
we
I've
can all
obviously
just
played
kind
for a
of
very
live
long
together
time.
in harmony
I
and
know
not
all
have
the
to be mad at
nuances
each other.
of rulings
I'm
and all
glad.
that stuff. So it isn't really for me. I think people sometimes hear me say that and assume that I must be like, you know, this super casual new player who just doesn't get any of this. I'm actually not overwhelmed by Yu-Gi-Oh personally, but I see so many people who want to play it that feel that way. And so that's what I mean when I say Yu-Gi-Oh needs better onboarding tools. Yu-Gi-Oh needs more casual formats. Yu-Gi-Oh could probably afford to like slow down the general power level and card design even
Hi there.
in modern play, even in like the highest level tournaments. It'd be nice if maybe decks weren't doing so much all the time. I totally get it. Like I can hang with that if I have to. If I have to play in a regional, then that's gonna be just what's asked of me. But that doesn't mean that I'm not like sympathetic to the plight of the average casual player or maybe the mid-core player. So, you know, just because I'm advocating for them doesn't mean that I'm
He's got to
necessarily
mention
one of them.
the term
It's
he
okay to
made
be an
up.
ally after all. And again, the same goes
He
for
is an
like
ally.
super competitive types. There are people who, you know, they grind like Worlds points and they grind Master Duel, Duelist Cups and all this stuff. And they might hear what I have to say and think that it's just kind of strange. and
What?
bizarre,
I'm
because
not
like I mentioned
hating.
before, well,
I think it's funny.
They understand Yu-Gi-Oh! So what does it matter to them if the products
I
aren't
would
selling
also
or
constantly
if, like,
bring up a
new
term I
players
made
aren't
up.
coming into the
I
game?
constantly bring
Because
up
that's
instrumental
not
play,
their
and I didn't make
problem.
that term up.
But I still think that even like those types could afford to maybe see things from another lens, right? Like it's important to just view the game from a lot of different perspectives. It gives you a really full look at things. The last thing that I want to mention too is how I do feel like the Yu-Gi-Oh community as a whole tends to sort of take badly to just general criticism of the game. This is something that I've noticed for myself and other like
Okay,
YouTubers.
well, most general criticism of the game is really poorly structured.
Or just outsiders who like will be on Twitter or YouTube or something, and they'll make a video about how like Yu-Gi-Oh has sort of lost the plot. Yu-Gi-Oh has lost its way. It's not the game that I remember. And these people will be called Yu-Gi boomers. These people will be called complainers. They just don't get it. And like they'll sort of be like seen as like villains, these outsiders that need to be, you know, gotten rid of. We must exterminate them. I don't understand this because like I get it. It's very if you view Yu-Gi-Oh as like your entire identity, it's the game that you like, then it will feel like when an outsider comes in and they're saying something negative about your game, perhaps it feels like it's like a bad faith criticism. They don't know the full story.
It's a bit extreme. Yeah, I agree. I don't think I don't want to kill Tirzu. I just want him to stop talking about the game I like because he doesn't know anything about it.
Invader, and so we need to sort of team up to like push them out, let them know that they're wrong, they're stupid, and they don't know what they're talking about. It's okay to be mean to them because they're the enemy. I don't really like get with any of that. I think that if someone shows up and they've got criticisms about your game, it might not be coming from a great place, maybe not, but it is like a point of view. In fact, there's probably a reason why so many people from the outside seem to like still view Yu-Gi-Oh that way, where it's like, what happened to this game that I
Yeah,
used to
because people
know?
like that keep telling them it's like that. Because people like Tirzu keep telling them the game is like that.
And love and
that's why so many people still have that idea of it because they didn't go and play it.
The best thing I can say
None of them
is
went and
that
checked.
It's important to try to engage meaningfully with people like that. You know, instead of sort of just saying like, you don't get it, you're just a Yu-Gi boomer, whatever. This happens every year. It's like, well, no, like talk to them, hear what they have to say, maybe acknowledge that some of their concerns are valid.
I think you shouldn't be mean to them unless they're a guy with a huge platform that is spreading misinformation. You shouldn't be. You should probably be nice to people, generally speaking.
Or just two different games, right? It's not a matter of like better or worse. It's that like playing Yu-Gi-Oh in 2026 and playing Yu-Gi-Oh in like 2006, they're just it's different Yu-Gi-Ohs. Like they have different things. They offer different perks and benefits, and they sort of test for different skill sets and whatever. So it isn't like, you know, I think that almost like muddies the waters. Is that
yes, that is true, but the people who make these the people who often get the ire of the community are not the people who yearn for 2006 Yu-Gi-Oh. They're the people who yearn for a playground Yu-Gi-Oh that never truly existed, a prelapsarian ideal. And I feel like conflating the two is fucking stupid. No, it's that Tier Zoo. He made a Yu-Gi-Oh video on his second channel that was dog shit.
They both happen to share the name Yu-Gi-Oh, but they really could not be any more different. So when you keep that in mind, though, I think it's actually a lot easier to have a dialogue with people like that, because you know, they want,
because he hasn't played in a while. Like he plays on Master Duel, but he hasn't played like actual Yu-Gi-Oh in a while.
I keep saying this is the last thing I'm going to mention. Another thing I should probably mention too is when I make these videos, sometimes I'll
like
talk about
the most like
Gathering.
he's modernized his playstyle by playing Millennium, right? That's what he means by he's played Yu-Gi-Oh
Pokemon,
recently.
I'll cover news from that. And it's funny, I've noticed that people, even in those communities, will treat me that way. So like when I covered the Magic the Gathering lawsuit or that one secret layer controversy with the mixed pricing, I got people in my comments who are like, oh, well, like you're supposed to be like a Yu-Gi-Oh player. Why are you covering Magic? Like stick to Yu-Gi-Oh. Or they'll say things like, you know, well, at least, you know, our game actually sells, unlike Yu-Gi-Oh, nobody even wants to buy the product. Or unlike Yu-Gi-Oh, where the turns take 10 minutes, and it's kind of like, they'll say that as a sort of maybe like a gotcha argument. Like,
Here's what I was talking about earlier.
Yu-Gi-Oh, therefore they insulted me, therefore they shut me down, and like that's the end of the thing. When I hear that, it's kind of like, well, no, that's a valid point. Yu-Gi-Oh has product problems.
You don't have to give it to them when they're just saying bullshit.
Has 10-minute turns sometimes. So I mean, like, you know, you're not saying anything wrong, but I don't actually identify myself as like Yu-Gi-Oh equals me. Like somebody insulting Yu-Gi-Oh they're not insulting me. It's not like you know, I think some people view it that way, right? Where like,
I don't know if that's how I'm viewing it. Yu-Gi-Oh is not me. Yu-Gi-Oh is a multimedia company owned by Konami of America, or Konami of America and Japan. What I don't like is people lying about a game I like. I don't like people lying about a game I like. That's all it is.
We're in these different card game camps, and so like anything that's a win for Magic is a loss for Yu-Gi-Oh. Anything that's a win for Yu-Gi-Oh is a loss for Pokemon. One game does this well, therefore the others do it badly, and like, you know, it's zero-sum games.
I don't lie about Magic the Gathering, for instance. I don't want people lying about Yu-Gi-Oh. That's all.
No. I mean, I've dabbled in all of these card games, and I know a little bit about each one. I mostly play Yu-Gi-Oh, but I don't have a problem.
In fact, I've been getting into Magic a little bit. I started building a landfall deck with chocobos. I call it Birdfall.
You don't have to try to emulate a card game entirely, right? Like some people maybe want Yu-Gi-Oh to be. Okay, I'm fine now. I need to hurry and finish this video. Some people want Yu-Gi-Oh to like be entirely like
what a
Magic
name.
Gathering,
It's good.
Universes Beyond, or be entirely like Pokemon and be super collectible and stuff, and like have scalpers. I don't think that Yu-Gi-Oh needs to be any one game. I don't think any game needs to try to be like,
it doesn't need scalpers, that's for
like
damn
exactly
sure.
like the others, because there's not like a perfect one. But you know,
I should
fine,
really
and
make
just
the
acknowledge that all these
scalpers
games
are
do
not your
something
friend.
differently
Speculate.
well,
It's gonna be.
and
I think the title of the video is gonna be "Speculators Are Not Your Friends." I really need to make that video.
Well, while my voice is crying for me to stop this video, I will just end this by saying it is totally normal to have mixed thoughts on the things that you enjoy. If you like a certain movie franchise, it's hard to hear somebody say that it's bad, but that doesn't mean that they're wrong, and it doesn't mean that you can't still listen to them and accept what they're saying as
We will be seated.
from a valid place. Even if you don't agree with it, it's like, oh,
I don't even know if it would be a really
interpret
long one. It
this
would
movie
mostly
that
just
way.
be
I
like
see how you might interpret this song that way.
debunking most of the
maybe
common
afford to like change.
arguments
I think
for
it'd actually
bringing
be more
speculators
strange
into a
if
card
you
game.
Unilaterally just unconditionally love something and identify
Oh
with it completely.
fuck, we'd have to
because
talk
that
about
feels
MetaZoo, wouldn't we?
unhealthy and weird.
Oh fuck, we'd talk about
You should not
MetaZoo
think
for
that
sure.
One person or any one thing is absolute perfection and the best of the best and can do no wrong because well, we know how bad
I'll bring in
stuff,
I'll just
right?
bring in clips from the Nim Nim video about
So,
it.
yeah, all right, that's the video. Hopefully
When
you
he went
guys
fucking
enjoyed
beast
it, maybe
mode.
found it informative,
Dude, Nim Nim could make
clarifying.
such
I know
good
that
video essays based on exclusively the evidence of that MetaZoo video he did. That was stream of consciousness, and it was still better than anything that Farfa does as far as video essays go. It was stream of consciousness unedited, and it was still better than the shit that Farfa does. I don't know. Maybe the pendulum, maybe those more deep dive things he's been doing are better. I don't really want to watch them though because I don't trust his instincts as a historian. But maybe that's just because I'm a historian. I'm being a little elitist about it. You know it isn't. I know it in my heart of hearts, but I don't want to be mean. I don't want to just assume that's the case. I want to hedge my bets on that. This video is basically over. It's not a bad video. Not a bad video. How many APS videos are titled, amplifier videos are titled like this? I'm tired of hearing Yu-Gi-Oh players say this. How do Yu-Gi-Oh players still not comprehend this? Okay, that's it. It's just the two. It's just the two. It's a loud motorcycle. I don't know if you can hear that on the mic. Someone's very cool. Everyone make sure you watch this video from Nova. Nova worked hard on it. A really good primer on domain format if you want to get into Yu-Gi-Oh! Commander. But not that Yu-Gi-Oh! Commander. He used to be a... Fuck, I forgot Farfa used to be a teacher. Dude... I don't know. It's probably literally. I imagine he was different as a teacher. I imagine he was different as a teacher. I think it is literally just it's a YouTube video. I don't have to care. That's what's going. And I think you do. I think you do have to care. That's why I cite my sources in my videos, or at least I do a lot of them. Like. I think you should have to care about what you're putting out there, whether it's for YouTube or not. Because like just because it's YouTube doesn't mean people don't take it seriously and then just live with misinformation. Like when I was doing the Yugi dooming video, what was the title on that one here? Do I not have the channels underneath? Oh wait, I'm already on my channel. I can just go view my channel. There we go. The video essay playlist. When I did this one, the end of Yu-Gi-Oh! About Yugi dooming, there was a section about 2012 Yu-Gi-Oh! I don't know. I don't think I put the clip in here.
Point of it all, because I can't think I first heard this claim from MBT.
Yeah, no, I just had the video footage of it. MBT said in the Dino Rabbit History of Yu-Gi-Oh! That Dino Rabbit format, or like that whole format surrounding Dino Rabbit, the triangle format surrounding Dino Rabbit, was so bad that it caused people to leave Yu-Gi-Oh! En masse for Card Fight Vanguard. That's not true? Like, that's just not true. Not the point, but does MBT look a little clocky there? Yes. MBT used to look extremely clocky. Yes. Not the point, but yes. Yeah. Yeah. Sam Newgate, thank you for the follow. But when I went through when I fucking rabbit hole, no pun intended, what it turns out is some people left Yu-Gi-Oh! In Dino Rabbit format, but particularly what happened is people were leaving locals. Whereas at a competitive level, nobody was really leaving at all. It had just as much, if not more, support than it did at any other point in time. So little myths like that just get spread through YouTube videos because nobody cites any sources or does any research. And I like to try and fight back about that as much as I can, which is why my videos take longer than other people's videos. But time for an ad break, so see you in a second. Welcome back, folks. Welcome back. What now? And we could watch the Yu-Gi-Oh! Domain format explain video, but I think you should probably watch it on your own and make sure you like and subscribe as well. It used to be a frequently repeated myth that Hobby League cards are categorically not tournament legal. That is still a myth. I saw that like the other day. Literally the other day I saw someone say that. What if we play Yu-Gi-Oh? If I play Yu-Gi-Oh, half of you are going to leave. If I start playing Yu-Gi-Oh, half of you are going to leave. It happens every time. Anything on YouTube? Hi, Mello. Oh boy. A new Twitter freaks. Mostly because you have the key to the kennel. Why is there a... No. Do not recommend. Get out of here, Doug.
I love diversity.
I know it's Yu-Gi-Oh! Tuesday, but what if we just watched a bunch of Spice 8 Rack videos? What if we just listened to 1 hour of the Duke of Puzzles shop? I know it's Yu-Gi-Oh! Tuesday, but what if we just watched Pokemon Champions? Twitter freaks already? Isn't it too early for that? They must be pumping it out. I guess he because he starts it at the start of stream. He was already streaming, so I guess they could have edited it in time. It's not a huge amount of edit. All you have to do is clip it out of the thing. So they don't do any fancy edits to it. Do you knit? No, I actually did crochet for a while. I never knitted. Didn't feel like my kind of thing. Crochet was neat. The problem with crochet is that it takes a long time, and it can be quite frustrating at times. Especially if you're trying to do tight little if you're trying to do tight loops, it can be really fiddly to get your shit in there. We could watch 2-year-old Tolarian Community College video. We could watch the Kaiju's in the Details, which you can watch now. Yeah, I've been watching a lot of Tolarian Community College. Good stuff. I like his stuff. He's got a good voice. He's good at reading scripts too. Not to toot my own horn too much, I feel like I'm pretty good at reading scripts. And I think he's got the same kind of... There's like some people just have that talent for reading scripts in a naturalistic way. And he's got it. Good college professor vibes. Yeah. No, it's definitely a fitting theming there. I don't think I would have made it as a college professor. I wanted to be a professor for a while, but I don't think I would have made it. I don't think I've got the temperament for it. Not even in college. Not even on a college level. Certainly better than high school, though. I don't think I could do a high school. What if I just went to YouTube again? What if we just went to YouTube again? I want to make this video, but for Domain. I want to make a video about the way that player politics and dynamics make Domain fun, despite the fact that it has broken cards in it. If you're tenured, you can just shoot students if they're in trouble. Unless you're trans. If you're trans, you don't get to do that. Of course, if you're trans, you don't get to be tenured, so they keep you as an adjunct forever. Oh, we can react to fucking...
What is up, duelists, and welcome to another Yu-Gi-Oh video.
We
just
Josh
got some
Schmidt reacting to
exciting
Genesis
news
format
for
going
Genesis
global.
format.
How about that?
I want to talk about it
That's
a little
exciting.
bit. I want to tell you what it's about and maybe what some of the implications are for the future
turn him
of
down.
the
He's a little
format.
loud.
As someone who is a fan of Genesis format, I do think this is big news. So let us talk about it.
Why does
the thing
my
that was
automatic
announced is
sensor
essentially that
keep
Genesis
hitting
format
you so
is
hard,
coming to the
Raxator?
OCG. It is coming
What
to
is
Japan.
going on there?
This is, of course, something that, in case you didn't know, there's 2 versions of the Yu-Gi-Oh trading card game, or even more now, but the main 2 ones are
Unless
the
you're doing that
TCG,
yourself.
which is what we play over here, and then the
I
OCG,
typed too
which
fast.
is what they
I
play
see.
in Japan and other Asian countries. They didn't have Genesis format. It was a TCG exclusive thing that Konami NA, Konami Europe, I don't know who exactly, but Konami TCG came up with it. And so we were playing this format in the TCG and the OCG didn't have it.
You know, I will say one interesting thing, if we are going to get a like if this Genesis coming to Japan is a sign, and I don't think this is a very long shot, by the way. I don't take this as any sort of gospel at all. If it is a sign that we are going to merge the OCG and the TCG formats into one, I think the weirdest thing is going to be what to do with China, because China is technically, I think, an OCG territory, but its card releases are behind the TCG even. They're getting like these massive mega packs to catch them up all the time. And I'm not sure what you do about that. I guess keep doing massive mega packs.
And a lot of OCG players have been asking for it. At least I've from some of the people that I know.
Do the logo colors indicate the
OCG
extra
players
stuff you
were
can
looking
have?
at Genesis format stuff, Genesis format content, and they really wanted it, and now they
guess
have
they
it. So this
could.
was announced on Twitter.
China still has
Yu-Gi-Oh!
Hulk
OCG
allowed
has
as well.
posted
Yeah,
that
they also have a
Yu-Gi-Oh!
different
Genesis
ban list.
is going to have a so-called public release. I don't know how accurate the translation here is. And they're just explaining the rules for Genesis format, which is your standard explanation for the rules that we got when they announced it in the TCG as well. Mostly the people watching this channel are going to be TCG players. I want to talk a little bit about why that even matters for us. The first thing is that I feel like if Genesis becomes a global format, a global phenomenon, then this could have some implications for the future of the game. Stuff like Master Duel integration for Genesis format, or a potential World Championship on the horizon. People keep asking me on stream,
World
like,
Championship
do you think
too. I was thinking that a little bit,
format
but
is gonna
I didn't
eventually be in Master
vocalize
Duel
it.
or eventually
'Cause
have
I'm
a
not
World
even
Championship. And I
I'm not even
always
sure if I
said, like,
want that, but,
this
like,
is
probably,
not going
right?
to
That'd be
happen
pretty cool.
until the OCG has the format, because they wouldn't make a World Championship for something that only...
Dude, these things right here, I don't know, they must work because people keep doing them. They feel so fucking embarrassing to me. I can't imagine putting that kind of shit in my video.
Of the formats basically in the world play. This is a step closer to that. Now, does this mean that they are definitely going to make a World Championship for it? No, doesn't mean that. It is just a required step that they would have to take if they ever wanted to have a World Championship. And I'm pretty sure that even Konami themselves probably don't know yet where this is exactly going to go.
Like, at least put it in the
because
end
this
credits.
is, I think, 100% dependent on how well received it is in the OCG as well as the TCG still. You know, Genesis is still a relatively new thing, even in TCG territories. We've had it for like a couple of months now, but it is still way
Of course,
too
I say
early
it
to
must
say,
work,
like,
but
if
that's
this
not
is going
necessarily
to
the
be an
case. People love to do
established
shit that
format
is
people are
just
going to play and enjoy
not
for
actually working
years
all
to
the
come,
time.
and then maybe we'll get a World Championship for it
I think
eventually.
China's behind on all card
or
games.
If,
That's true.
you know, interest
It's possible
in it
that we
is
just,
not going
if
to
a merger
persist,
between
and then
OCG and TCG happens, we just leave China out of that and we let them keep catching up.
It's going to fade away. It's all possible, but I do think this is an important step in a direction for the format to be acknowledged by the OCG as well. You know, this shows that there is interest in the OCG Konami in what's happening over here, and they are interested in
I don't think it'll be called anything,
to
Sarge.
the OCG, and then if OCG players like it, that I think can indicate more support for Genesis.
Like, it'll still be, I think there'll still be the difference between OCG and TCG just because of card backs. But other than that, there won't be any other
format
differences.
in the future, just like, you know, potentially, this is dreaming big, but stuff like Genesis format in Master Duel or an eventual World Championship is something that I feel like could happen with this. You know, it is speculation, but it is possible. So those are some of the implications on why I think this could be huge for Genesis format. Here's to some other things, because of course the OCG is working with a different card pool than the TCG. They have releases usually before us. You know, a lot of the cards are out in the OCG before they are out for
Usually,
us.
but
At the
not
same time,
always. So if there's ever a meta-relevant world premiere archetype or card in Genesis format, the OCG players are going to be unable to play that in their version of Genesis format, but the points will still be balanced around that. Isn't that
sometimes
weird?
there's TCG exclusive archetypes, like for example Mitsurugi, which we got months before the OCG actually got them, which begs the question of like, okay, how is this format going to be handled from now on the OCG side / TCG side? Because there are differences in the card pool and you can't just ignore them, because if you just bring the TCG point list over to the OCG, well, all of the cards from, for example, Blazing Dominion, which is the next core set that's already out in the OCG, all of those cards are at 0 points because the TCG is making the list and we don't have those cards in the TCG yet. So the format would be very imbalanced if they had it that way in the OCG. So for now, it seems like, at least on YG organization here, it's saying Neuron shows that any cards not available in the TCG are forbidden, such as the Vanilla Black Luster Soldier, Gagaga Magician, Gagaga Magic, or X-Saber Bruno. I think this would also apply to everything in Blazing Dominion for the time being. So if this info is correct, this means that at the moment they are just playing a version of TCG Genesis format in the OCG. This is something that I could see them change in the future.
Minus anything in
was the
Mesa
same way
Muertos,
with regular
that wasn't an
advanced
import.
constructed format. Actually, this is a story from way back in the day, but there was a time where
So
the
no
TCG and
pumpkins
OCG
for you,
used the same
fuckers.
forbidden and limited list between their formats, even though the OCG was a couple of months ahead in their set releases, which ended up making it really awkward for the TCG.
And no
because
GMX
very
either.
often
Meta-relevant
cards
GMX coming any
were
day now.
Already hit. It was just
Any
weird
day now we'll
way
get
back in the
meta-relevant
day, and then
GMX.
eventually, I don't know exactly when, but around, like, I want to say maybe 2012-ish, they decided to have separate ban lists between the OCG and the TCG, which I think is a great decision. I mean, should they have global releases is, I guess, a whole topic and question for its
Yeah.
own video. But if you're gonna have different release,
I personally am for global releases. I think they should speed us up and get us all on the same page card game wise. I think it doesn't make any sense in the modern era that we are continuing this tradition of everyone being months behind Japan and card releases. It just doesn't make any goddamn sense. So I hope that we will see a merger
schedules between the
of
two
the
formats,
formats.
then I feel like you also do need a different ban list. So this is going to be the question: if Genesis format is successful in the OCG, are they eventually
Isn't
going
it messed
to
up that
take
Switch Point
over
doesn't
and
switch
create
points
their
in
own
Genesis?
points list for Genesis format, and then once again?
So what you're suggesting is that the switch point can switch the points in Genesis format and thus make your opponent's deck not Genesis legal? Is that what you're suggesting? And then you get to call a judge on them? Everyone's hyped that cards released 4 times. Preview reveals OCG, TCG, then Master Duel. It really does. By the time shit gets to Master Duel, I am done with them. I don't want to see them. It's so frustrating. It's part of why I stopped playing. Also Max C, also Gacha game. That's like the 3 main pillars. I also need to make, in addition to the Speculators Are Not Your Friends video, I need to make the Gacha Games Are Not Your Friend video. That one's been a long time coming, but it just... I need to probably loosen the scope on that one a little
The
bit.
format is going to drift away, like similar how
Or
it is
not
between
loosen,
TCG
tighten
and
the scope.
OCG Advanced Constructed. TCG Genesis and OCG Genesis
There's
are
another
going to be
one.
2 different
He
formats,
has all of them
which I
spread
think
out
is
throughout the
always a
video.
little bit
It's an
sad
11-minute
that we
video. He
can't
has
play
4 of
the
these
same
things
exact
spread out
format
across
and
it.
communicate over like the same format, but at the same time, it does make sense if the releases are separate. So it's something that remains to be seen. One thing that I don't personally want is for the OCG to just take over the point list for everybody and just make the points, simply because
Which doesn't seem to be happening, and there's no indication of this happening, and there's no reason to even bring it up.
this is a personal subjective opinion of mine, but I do prefer the TCG philosophy behind the forbidden and limited list.
And also, like, who knows what the OCG philosophy on Genesis format would be, because the TCG philosophy for their main ban list and for their Genesis format ban list are entirely different. They have entirely different philosophies. Well, kind of. They both really seem to take way too much into account the number of cards played, like how often a card is played, rather, card statistics, they take that way too much into account for both formats, seemingly. But other than that, like Genesis format hits a lot more floodgates and unfun FTKs and shit than the main format does, right?
I do think a lot of the decisions that they've made in the TCG in recent years and in general are just very healthy for the game. Stuff like banning Max C, but it doesn't stop there. Like there's so many cards that are legal in...
I mean, they're slowly getting rid of it in OCG, right? They're down to one copy of Max C now.
The OCG did, I think, have no business being legal. You know, Harpy's Featherstorm, Dimensional Barrier, powerful extract monsters
Have a nice
like
day,
Baron
Sarge,
the Fleur,
or night.
Warlord, Savage Dragon. Like
Whichever.
the TCG has done a lot to tone down the power level of Yu-Gi-Oh a little bit, whereas the OCG just doesn't seem to really care that much about that. They just want everything to be powerful, so everyone feels powerful when they play their pet decks. But in general, I've...
What the Dude, TCG players are awesome. They're like, those fucking OCG players, they're like fucking pet deckers. They're not serious competitive players. Anyways, here's the fucking 50 million TCG world events and the 5 like, or like, maybe, is there even multiple? How many worlds events are there for Japan? Did they get multiple? China, the entirety of China gets one worlds event. The entirety of China gets one worlds event. America alone has so many fucking worlds events. It's crazy. Like the fucking the fucking gnats. I mean, like, not worlds events as in like worlds, but worlds events as in the events that get players to be in worlds. Nats, I think is what they're called here. They're called different things in the different regions, if I'm remembering correctly. And like America has so many of them. China has one. I don't know how many Japan has. I don't remember. But it feels fucking insane when people say that Japan, like the OCG isn't a like competitive, like minded populace. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? They're just
been
people
vibing with the TCG.
Like the tournament structure of OCG is not competitively minded. It is very casual oriented because it is mostly focused on locals. But that's because it's a small country, right? They don't need the massive regional and YCS structure that America and all of Europe has. Europe gets treated as one country for the purposes of Yu-Gi-Oh! Essentially. So it doesn't need that same kind of structure. So when you look at tournament results from Japan, it looks very casual, but that's because you're looking at locals. You're looking at locals. Of course it's more casual. It's just that filters up into the main tournament structure rather than having these separated things, right?
Ban lists more. So I'm happy that at the moment TCG has control over Genesis as well. Not because they're necessarily better, but they're just different philosophies and they align more with...
But again, Genesis is a different philosophy from main format. And TCG Genesis format's philosophy fucking sucks. It fucking sucks. They hit a lot of floodgates and a lot of FTK stuff, but they didn't hit all of it. And they're more and more over the past couple of lists focusing more on play rates rather than anything else. And that fucking sucks.
What I prefer in terms of balancing. So it would be interesting to see what the OCG would do if they had control over the points. But for now, I think I'm happy with what Genesis format is at the moment, and I wouldn't
none of the
want it to be
Exodia
more...
none of the Exodia pieces are points. Isn't that fucking insane? Shouldn't the head be points? But no, they just point every draw spell instead. Every single dog ass draw spell in the game is pointed to avoid pointing the Exodia pieces. Isn't that fucking insane?
Broken, which is kind of like what the OCG is like, more powerful than TCG in terms of the power level, and I think that's not what Genesis needs personally. So I'm hoping it stays in the TCG hands, or they make a separate points list, not have the OCG decide globally on what's on the Genesis points list. But yeah, those are just some of the things that were on my mind. You know, what happens to the card pool because we have separate releases, but then also some exciting stuff for the future like potential world championships and Master Duel integration. In general, with some of the
In
recent
Genesis?
changes that have happened or some of the announcement that they've made for Genesis format, it has me feeling really excited to play Genesis, because the format itself is something I'm a fan of, but something that is, in my opinion, even more important than the format itself is the logistics around it. You know, like, where can you play Genesis format? How often can you participate? What is the pricing like?
It needs
how
more
much
local
do they push
support.
it? And some of the announcements, just to summarize, that they've made recently are Genesis format is going to get YCSs with the same pricing as regular YCSs, which is important. That acknowledges
Very
the format
important.
as a whole, and it's going to give people a real incentive to play the format. Not only that, but
Acknowledges
they've
the
also
format
announced
as
that
its
they are going to
own.
be happening at the same weekend in the same location as regular YCSs, which is going to give people the chance who are traveling to a YCS anyways to participate in both Genesis and Advanced Constructed. And the reason why they can play both is, and that was my favorite announcement in the recent blog post, Genesis events are going to have day one on Friday of the YCS. Then on Saturday, you're going to play day one of the Advanced Constructed.
Yeah, this decoder didn't like this because it made it feel like it was a side event. I just don't agree. I feel like if the fact that the Genesis tournament starts one day before the main format tournament does makes it feel like a side event to you, then you probably should just grow up.
Tournament, which would previously just be considered the main event for the YCS. And then on Sunday, you have both day twos happening at the same time. This means that you can go to a YCS, you can play Genesis on Friday, qualify for Sunday already, you can still play the main event on Saturday, and if you qualify for both day twos, you can pick and choose whichever one you want, but if you only make day two in one of them, you just play that one. And that means basically you can use Genesis as like a secondary chance at becoming a YCS champion, right? Like, you can just play it on Friday, and if you qualify for Sunday, you have that one in the bag already. Even if the main event on Saturday goes wrong and doesn't go your way, and you don't make day two, you've got Genesis, you know, as your plan B. It can even be your plan A if you prefer the format. But if you go there on Friday, let's say you care about Genesis a lot, you go there on Friday and you don't do so well, you don't make day two, well, you can still play the YCS on Saturday, right? And then that can be your plan B, right? And so in general, more options is always good for me, and I think that was one massive announcement.
It also makes logistical sense because then you don't have both Genesis and Advanced trying to fit all of their players at tables at the same time, and it leaves more room for more other side events, or for, you know, regular side events. And then on Sunday, like, you've already whittled down the player pool for both of them, so then it leaves more room for side events, right? I think it's a brilliant idea.
Genesis format,
I think it's a brilliant
you
idea.
don't have to decide between the two. You can actually play both. You can play Advanced Constructed and you can play Genesis, and that's the most important thing. And now we get these news as well, which is saying like, okay, the OCG is also now adapting the format as well. And I just think that's exciting. You know, I'm excited.
Everything's
for what
turning
the
up
future holds
Genesis.
for Genesis format.
I'm
The
still
very first
upset
time
about the
we're
way
gonna
they're
have
handling
a
the
YCS for Genesis format
the points list
in Europe is
but
going to be really exciting for me. Of course, we had the Proto YCS at
Any-
YCS Dortmund, but there
any amount of Konami welcoming alt formats
exactly
is good.
didn't do what I just talked about. It was happening at the same time. Both were on Saturday, so I played the Advanced Constructed main event, and I couldn't play Genesis. You were forced to decide, and in the future, you're not going to be forced to decide. So I'm really looking forward to the first YCS where you can play the
Oh my
Genesis
God, a YouTube
YCS
membership
main
one
event day
too.
one on
Holy
Friday.
shit, dude.
That's going to be exciting. I'm excited to see
Is
what the
that not
future holds.
embarrassing?
Let me know your
Does that
thoughts
not feel
on this
embarrassing to
update,
put in?
and on Genesis as a whole. You know, would you like to see more Genesis content in the
They still
future?
don't-
I've been
those ones
making
didn't have
some
all the
Genesis
clicks,
content, and
the
some of it
click
has done
noises.
pretty well. Some of it hasn't. So I'm just wondering where the community as a whole stands on the format. Are you playing the format right now? Are you enjoying it? Would you like to see content on it? And so on and so forth. Let me know your thoughts on
Joshua
everything in the
Ad
comments
Smith.
down below. Thank you for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe.
Okay. You don't need to do a make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, dude. You've had it through the whole fucking video. Okay. Enough being mean. I'm going to call it there. Thank you all so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this Yu-Gi-Oh! Tuesday. Next week, we're going to be doing Duel Monsters. We're going to be starting Duel Monsters subbed, and we're going to have a great time. We're going to see Yugi again, but no Miho. Miho's dead. Miho died on the way back to her home planet. Friday, Thursday, I'm going to have Golden Nova over here, and we're going to do Stuck in My Craw, finally back. We're finally back to Stuck in My Craw. There's so many posts. I gotta prune more. I've got to prune my posts more. So make sure to be here Thursday at 4 p.m. for Stuck in My Craw. And then next week, in addition to, of course, Yu-Gi-Oh! DM, on Thursday, we're going to be starting the March Basho. That's right, baby. Sumo is back. Not only is Stuck in My Craw back, Sumo is back as well. It's the March Basho. Ao Nishiki is working his way to becoming a Yokozuna, and we're going to be watching the entire time. So make sure you're there on Thursday at 4 p.m. And then make sure you're there at Tuesday at 4 p.m. and Thursday at 4 p.m. Who knows what I'm doing Sunday? I don't know. Oh, actually, I do know what I'm doing Sunday. I've got 2 streams on Sunday instead of the usual one. We're doing an afternoon stream with Haru where we're playing more Slay the Spire 2. And who knows what I'm doing after that, because it's 2 streams in one day. So I'm probably going to do something a little chill. We'll see. That's still to be decided. We'll see. But yeah, thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure you check out all those. Thank you, Computer Racer, for the follow. Make sure you're checking out Batchu's library. Make sure you subscribe to Batchu's library. Make sure you go and watch Nova's video about domain format and like it and share it and all that shit. Make sure you're subscribed, like, share all the videos, watch them again. Watch them over and over and over again forever. I'm gonna say bye now before I say anything more and start getting on another tangent. Exclamation point socials in chat. Get you my website where you can find all the links that you could possibly want to find me where I'm at. Who am I sending you to? Oh, I'm sending you to Yura for sure. Yura's playing Rush Duel on Duel Links. I'm sending you to Yura. You're gonna have a great time over there. Thank you so much for joining. When you get over there, be kind and courteous. That's all I ask of you. With that said, be kind to yourselves, be kind to others, and have a wonderful rest of your day. Goodbye, everyone. Bye-bye.